Salam, 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 Quran, Kurat, Ihwat. Today we have a special press conference with our Afarian brothers, with Debat leaders, media centers, media outlets, Team Freedom, Yaakil, ARDUF, EANC, Afar press conference. We have an urgent, important message, a new development to deliver to the people. And without further ado, I will go around the horn and introduce everyone that's here with me as my guests. I wanted to say thank you for participating and allowing this moment to happen. First and foremost, I will let Brother Ahmed introduce himself. Go ahead, brother.
Thank you, Brother Captain David. My name is Ahmed Yusuf Mohammed. I am the president of Eritrean Afar National Congress, the EANC.
Thank you, sir. Aboy Haile Mariam.
أنا هايل مريم تسفاي بهال أول ناي إرتراوي سمرة الديمقراطية ولوتي.
Thank you, sir. Aboy Mohammed Ibrahim.
Unmute.
محمد إبراهيم دعستا عفر جوجوموكو أمريكا السعالهانيو ويشا أكل كهنمي تنيه حالة تطول الله جداي محمد إبراهيم دعستا قد دقيقة.
Thank you. And then next we have Brother Mulu Burhan.
My name is Mulu Burhan Tamalso. I am the Director General and founder of Foundation Human Rights for Eritreans based in Amsterdam, Netherlands.
Wonderful.
Thank you, sir. We have from everyone knows Brother Tedros Mengistu from Teddy Press. Go ahead, Brother Teddy. Okay, Brother Teddy. We'll go to Brother Shaheen.
Yeah, my name is Shaheen Abdullah Shaheen. I'm a member of EANC. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. And then Team Freedom, Yaakul Movement, Brother Jonas.
Yeah, my name is Jonas. I'm with Team Freedom and also a Global Yaakul Movement Diplomacy Department, and I'm happy to be here.
Yes, David.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you so much for welcoming me.
Yes,
I'm broadcasting is online at the same time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for broadcasting and helping us. Okay, brothers and sisters, today for our press conference, we're going to go ahead start with our brother Muhammad Ibrahim. He will be able to break it down in Afarian and Amharic as well, because both nations need to hear this. Without further ado, go ahead, brother Muhammad.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. عفر أمتا بداي بري بحري روي الدلين كي هرنا تكا. السلام عليكم سيني صالحيه. يا كيني هن عيبيكي تاريخ تنيمتي رابطيه تنتو بكوه يلا الدنيا خير كين هي حياي رعتين كادو بياكر رعتين هي اللي عافتي حياي كم برحمة راكي كين رعتيه تنمتا كين كي تنتو كي مان يلي حارحيه توي لكلاسا فكل الدول فنما كيني هن حالة كي عيبي تيتا عفر بارو المحطة كي ينتياي توكو نهار سيتو ريساي سومالي رسي دارتها كياني جبوتي رسي دارتها كياني هان عيسي نبارو بساقي داي نبارو النوكاقي داي حاكيني كي سعودتي كي كهنتانها هواشلي عبرنو هواش دريف الدفيرنو بعرلا بينو هنين أميا إيروه مالو لمريتيتان كي هي اللي خوبسينو وباروني مرحكو عفر باروتو أبانا هني وراركي بوكسوي أعيب كايا كبي تعيبتي هذا بقى حسدان مع فرب تهاي يقولنا نودنا ندود هاي ننقاد إنكيه الدبنا أبنا نكفد إنك دبعك الدنك يبريه النعب طولي دبعك نياعن نكفد إنك ويسا توه بتميا كله يكيه عيب يساقو إثيوبيا هدل تجري دولتك رعته تاني إثيوبيا أمحراكي أبي أفكك بيته سياس دعوت هاي ست هنيه تجري دولة بايسان متكاكي بيتين مكيد وجوب السين هي هذا يساقطوه محاي تجري ينعبينهن تجري يقدم الصومالي كبيني ويسا أورومو كبيني أورومو السعودي أيني هم فدراليزمي سوهي يم فدين تا داره دورم فو فدين تا دو ورقة السجيه دقوم بين الكاف سكته ما أيسو أبينال بسوها كهي ينها فدراليزمي دينتو كل نو بيصدق دينتو عليه إسي دين إسا حسافة بارتا إسي مدعيتا تحاجيدا بسوه إنت فدين تنته تنورم السعودي تك أنا ما كنك هدل هني سومالي رسول تكن تاريني توي لكلا تجرال عيب فكان ما تبيتيني تجرال عيب فكان وكاهميتيني أبيك إسياسة إسيريدا بسوه هايتاك جداي كم قواتيني ينكادو عم حري سعودي أول سبته تندين تقحسانك جداي توكلي تجرال حيل اللي هي الجلكي رعت يبتملي أبتو دي دملي كي تجرال عيب أبنا يعرفكو عيب كايا كم فدراليزم بيسانه ويساول سبتين تهنيك أحسانك جدكها تايسة بدت ما تهينا توي سبتها تجري الدنو أفر الدنو غيرو متدنوكو تا نمنو مهدينتو أسمراكي أدساب لا إسن عمري بسو هانا جدها أبانا هننجحلتو عفر متا دودك كيني حرب بتاعت فرق بتابقسا كلها أو اللي نبهنا إننا وتجريت إنكي ترجو بعيب أبتايانا مقاعك يانا كها عيب أبتما أبي يكي سياساي كنتم مقوله تنهتان دقوم ركتاي تهسبتها رعت أمتا تجري أمتا تقصده متناي عفر أمتا تجري أمتا تقصده متناي أو أي تجري كي عفر فند دقوم يكي سجى بودو سولاك بدها تجري دولة هبوبت اللي هي ابنه ويش تجري عنده كلا عند اللي يبنيه أفرت يكيه أنا أفرك كم فنا ليكتعبي يكم مفردين تاي يتكه تنمي سلطان فردين تا اتكوا أنا اختنكي اتكوا أنا ما أفرت تايستان ما تجري أبوكتيكي كلا عند تجري أكا اللي يبنيه هني توهبين على سله ويش عيبي سولا ماي أفرك بوك تجري كبوك نحقانه هني هيت تدحرسنا ماي ويش السلام عليكم محاوي أهل كلا كلا عفر فادوه يا مراي أم حرف يا بهنه أم حرفت هيديو هوي كتاتي السلام عليكم لما الله يجهز يما السلام
Thank you. Abu Hamid, are you going to go? So you spoke in Afari and now you're going to speak in Amharic?
Yes, that's our.
Thank you. Thank you. Let the audience know. Go ahead.
لما الله إثيوبيا هز إما استلالفوا ملكتك أفر أبيوتاي ديمقراسياوي جيمبار የዛሬው አጀንዳችን በኢትዮጵያ እየተካሄደ ያለው ጦርነት በተለይ በሰሜን ከትግራይና የኢትዮጵያ መከላከያ ሰራዊት እንበለው የአብይ መከላከያ ሰራዊት በሰሜን በኩል ደግሞ የዲክቴተር ኢሳያስ ሰራዊት ከዛ ደግሞ ሌሎች ጽንፈኛ ኃይሎች ተባብረው የትግራይን ህዝብ ለማጥፋት የትግራይን እንቅስቃሴ ለመግታት ፌደራሊዝምን ከዛ በላይ ፌደራሊዝምንም ለማጥፋት እና የነበረው የድሮ የአህዳዊ ስርዓትን ለመመለስ የሚደረግ ትግል መሆኑንና ይሄ ትግል ደግሞ በአይዲዮሎጂ ደረጃ ያለው የፌደራል ሲስተም አጥፍቶ ድሮ የነበረው አህዳዊ ስርዓት ለመመለስ የሚፈልጉ ኃይሎችና ስልጣናቸውን ለማራዘም ደግሞ ኢሳያስና አብይ የሚያካሂዱት ጦርነት ስለሆነ መላው የኢትዮጵያ ህዝብ ይሄንን ጦርነት እንዳይሳተፍ ለምን እያንዳንዱ ብሔረሰብ ካሁን በፊት በነበረው የክልላዊ አስተዳደር ለማጥፋት የተነሱ ኃይሎች ስለሆነ ይሄንን ለማጥፋት ነው የትግራይ ኃይል ለማጥፋት ውሳኔ ላይ የደረሱትና የትግራይን ኃይል ካጠፋን ሌላ የሚደራደረን አይኖርም ፌደራሊዝምን በቀላሉ እናጠፋለን ከሚለው እሳቤ የተነሱ ስለሆነ ማንኛውም ኢትዮጵያዊ ይህንን ጦርነት በመቃወም ከቻለ ከትግራይ ኃይሎች ጋር በመተባበር ምክንያት ፍላጎታችንም እኛም የትግራይ ኃይሎችም አንድ ነው እያንዳንዱ ህዝብ ራሱን በራሱ የማስተዳደር መብት እንዲጎናጸፍ በራሱ ቋንቋ በራሱ ባህል የራሱን ታሪክ የራሱን ሀገር ኑሮት በፌደራል ደረጃ በእኩልነት ከሁላችን የተውጣጣ መንግስት ተቋቁሞ ያ መንግስት ለተለየ ለአንድ ብሔር ወይም ብሔረሰብ ሳይሆን የሁሉንም ኢትዮጵያ ህዝቦች በሙሉ በአንድ አይን የሚያይ እንዲሆን ከሁሉም የተውጣጣ የፌደራል መንግስት ኖሮን በክልል ደረጃ እያንዳንዱ ህብረተሰብ የራሱ ይመቸኛል ባለው ቋንቋ ባህል ታሪክ ራሱን እንዲያበለጽግ በወንድማማችነት በእኩልነት በአንድ ላይ ለመኖር የሚያስፈልገን ይሄ ነው ይሄንን ለማጥፋት የሚፈልጉ ኃይሎች ደግሞ የሁላችን ጠላቶች ስለሆኑ ሁላችንን መዋጋት ያስፈልገናል በተለይ ከትግራይና ከአፋር አካባቢ የሚሰሙ አንዳንድ ግጭቶች እነዚህ ለዚህ እኩይ ዓላማ የተሰባሰቡ ኃይሎች ሆን ተብሎ የሚቀሰቅሱት ስለሆነ ከትግራይ መከላከያ ኃይልና ከትግራይ መንግስት ባለስልጣኖች በሙሉ ተነጋግረናል በአፋርና በትግራይ ውስጥ ምንም አይነት ግጭት እንዳይኖር ወደ ግጭት የሚያደርሰን ምንም አይነት ሁኔታ የለም እኛ አብረን ለረጅም ጊዜ በሰላም የምንኖር ህዝቦች ስለሆነ ይህንን ሁለት ህዝብ የኩይ ዓላማ ተከታዮች እና መልእክቱን በመቃወም ችግር ካለ ተነጋግሮ መፍታት ልክ ድሮ እንደሚያደርጉ እየፈቱ በሰላም አብሮ እየኖሩ በሰላም አብረው መታገል እንዳለባቸው ለማሳሰብ ወዳለሁ አመሰግናለሁ
Thank you, sir. We appreciate that. We like to let our brother Ahmed go ahead and follow through on the next step. Thank you for speaking Afarian and Amharic for the audience. Thank you very much. Go ahead, Brother Ahmed.
Thank you, Captain. And I will start with Afar briefly and then follow in English. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Masakadale konna bnali hita inta mudar Afar ummataka nilla netas lil'ain anka hissato bukukin kes. Assalamu alaikum sini hrubna. Higilaka awaya يعني حالة تتكلم هيدرالي تيابر حيو بس وهو كنهارتا و تاكمي ميتو تيابيو حقي لك انجليزي هفاس نيما سوينا مدعاكي ونتو نهتني متيابيو فيروك امودر ماتكا دي اساكو حربية ملكا كيكي علولكي displacement هدت جيتين تحت نهتن نيتو بوكيو نما عندك كي نكستي أفرقا كي هدل حربي سنه قبل دالويني سنه اقتلعويني هي أموكينك أما أجد يكي هنيا بيكينت كاكتيك يمكي رابتيمي هي اللي رحمتها هاي رعتيتني هي اللي إيمانكي سابريكي سني بارو قلال للتانا سني متخايتانا تينمي سينك فرتحكي سنرده بقول راب تحتني دماغ فراباك سكته تهلو سندعوتنا النمسيني ورسنا نميها كا حربي اسم حربي يي ما يبلال أحد نيي عسقني ما يبلال عسقني نما سوينا هفكاي و ما يبلال مانجو يعني هي مني همري برابر سليهتني تنها مشكلات دلام فراه يعني هي مري من قلنا عفر متى منه نيبون نو بس سجنه تو ما يبلع نية عسجنه هنا ما يبلع انتهى تنمي ننوع إريتريا عفره ديمقراطي كونغرس كنينو أني مسوينا إدي يابته تنمي برسلوك حد حري براكس ساكوك حد كانوا كعهنا نهنا شعبية أبنهنا نافكنا أكتنه تهمو شعبية صدون سنته إسيبارلو توي تجرايل أبوك سكتني أكبارو التكه تني تنسماد بايسيا باروكك نجاركاي باروك ديريكاي ويسرهية صدون سنته آديوه يعني أنسماد بايسيا شعبية عفر دنكالي هذا الباك سكتهيتا يا باه تو أماني جركتني كي عفرد دوما تجراي حلين السجني تجراي البايسيني هنيني مي مانجوه تني تنرفجي بتباي سكاي ومانيك سني بارو أبيني هني نماني تجراي لك هابين إنها أفرك كي هذا التكمي كلاتا تحكي ويتم فردين تهر حكو الدم ترس سجني هني ننتياي تو عدي تو ما كنت نيتي في مسك تهتني تنتو بكتني تو بكوكو تو يانا ملتني توناي نانو فرتيو عدكار أوسجه إنها عفر بياك نبيا كاي عفر متى إرت إثيوبيا هدل تكيه تنمي برسلوك تو أما إثيوبيا هدلني تحتني تنافر كهبياك تنها بياك تنام نايس الدقيه سيدو حاكا نمسوينا شعبية اللفقن الناني ويلو تو برابر سليه تنهتن إريتريون معارضة تكو أو يكادو تجراي دولة تجراي ديفنس فورس حدلو أشعبي يقتل لك لناني هن دعوت كحكاي ننو عدوي يلا كني ني عدوي إساياساي إساياسة نفكون هنا اللي نفكون هنا ويلو لك مانجو ويلو تامي تجيتنا أو يتوب قويتي محمد كهرو كنها سعولتت كينك نانغورو هنا وعدي كادو إريتريا النابكاي إريتريا فالمالينو ويا أكل تكيه تنمي تادين فردينته أمتك بيك يقفيه يعني كتدي هذا ياي تايسر راسين كي عفر فنات يعني هنا عداوتا أي سادو كوي سني عدوت اللي كو ستنا ترين سني تهرجني ميا عفر بيكا فوحة هرحي وقدي هرحكو ومر اللي لنوه إنهم فرصة تا يوك الدايسك توبكويت محمد الديا بس جه تويا عفر فيه فرم يكتم جتكه قد دقيقة. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Shall I continue in English right now, Brother David? Do I have the time?
Yes, yes, sir. Speak. Go ahead. Continue English. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for everyone for who's attending, press from media and supporters. What I was just referring to in Afar is basically the current situation in the Afar and who we are as Eritrean Afar National Congress. Our organization is dedicated to self-determination of Afar in Dankalia. And our people are faced with ethnic cleansing, displacement. The Afar population, as reported in various United Nations human rights reports, are facing unprecedented a threat against existential threat is going on in Dankalia. So our organization is fighting against the tyrannical regime of Isaias Afwerki, and we are collaborating with whoever Eritrean-led forces, including making ties and solidarity with the people of Tigray and leadership and Tigray Defense Forces. We will do whatever it takes to remove this tyrannical system in Eritrea for the Afar and for all Eritreans. As far as our joint conference here, we are very much excited that we are part of such a unique organization. ARDUF UGUGUMO is one of early Afar resistance movement. In the 70s, the UGUGUMO have been fighting for their self-determination. This, in a way, it reminds me in 1970s, early power when the Eritreans were fighting for their self-determination. The Afar in ELF have made link 50 years ago to support each other, the Afar from Eritrea and Afar from Ethiopia. They were fighting for the same cause at the same time. 50 years back now, 50 years later, we are doing the same thing with the Afar from Eritrea and the Afar from Ethiopia to join our forces, giving each other, advice and how, to remove tyrannical system that is oppressing our people in all respective in both of our countries. So the Gugumo have been there from the beginning, and our joint efforts will certainly help the Eritrean cause. We are, as I mentioned, 50 years ago, our elder generations have came to the aid of the Ugugumo, the young Ugugumo, that back then, as Ethiopian nations of nationality, were fighting for the rights of self-determination. And at that time, the Afar elders were pretty much helping and giving their expertise in training and military training. And back then, this is in fact a new day of Afar resistance. So we are very much excited that this can this unity between the Afar from both sides to help each other, because our enemy is one. Isaias Afwerki and Abiy Ahmed have imposed their centralist, they are racist policy towards the our brothers and sisters in Tigray, but not only in Tigray, in Oromo. Like my brother Mohammed was saying from ARDUF, when the resistance that you see right now, even though the torch is carried by TDF, first the Abiy government have attacked Somalis, attacked the Oromos. The Oromos, as you know, people like Johar Mohammed, Bekele Gerba, and those freedom fighters and those who democratic uh, uh, leaders have been imprisoned, and not everyone was fortunate enough to pick up an arm and defend themselves. That's what Tigrayans did. they are fighting for the cause of nations of nationalities all over the world. I mean, all over Ethiopia. So this is we are tied because we are making this forging ties with Afar in Ethiopia because our enemy is Isaias Afwerki. This Isaias Afwerki is coming back to Ethiopia to directly affect our refugees are under threat. As you know, there's 100,000 Afar refugees in Afar regional estate. Their lives are under threat, and we know what happened when the Afwerki regime entered Tigray. Many, almost 2 camps have completely dismantled. People hijacked. People went back. No one knows where they went. People killed, rapes. All of this is the cause of Abiy and his counterpart from Eritrea, Isaias. So there is no any other option but as a people, we need to fight hand in hand with Ethiopians, with Tigrayans, with the Oromos, with as Eritreans. We need to join the efforts of removing this cancerous regime from Eritrea. So as I leave it at that, I know it's everyone have questions. If anything, I'm more than happy to answer. But thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you, Brother Ahmed. Following you, we will go to, I know a lot of people are asking questions, listening. Some are extremely supportive here. There's going to be a lot of questions about why should we unite with Tigray to defeat Isaias. As a press conference, I would like people to ask questions, and I'll highlight the questions for the board panel. And if you need them to answer the questions, they will. We will go with Memher Hailemariam. He's next. If you can highlight on this. Thank you, Abu Hailemariam.
Your mic is off.
Is he muted?
سلام أغني اللي زي بحاو أحمد يوسف بريزيدنت ناي ود بهراو قبائع عفر إيرترا سلا زعد مني يبزله ود بنان ود بومن أب زي ما كل محدر أخون مسر سوساني مزلنا أنا حبار ريتو فلي عركنا تعلنا بفلاي دما أبزي بدوات نا إيرتران إثيوبيان زكاير زلوا كلتي أتي ب جغرافياو قمامط استفالي هاجر كوين زلو حزبي ابن نحدحدو خيواغا بسلام كفتح بزلنا مرقص ندقف زي لومي ابزي مهلاوي solidarity with the بهراو غباي عفر إرترايو نان مغلاص مصي زلهو أغنيله.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, brother.
Moving to our brother Mulu Brahan. Give us your intake on this.
يغني لي مجبرتا نخلكم تقالستي نتي سبعوي كبرتات رحقوا زلو حزبنا سبعوي كبرتاتو منبر كم سب نخلو تقالستو زلكم كلكم تقالست زلن خبري زلني ملأت دقف كقلت يفتو نخلو تقبرو قال سخاء زلن عنا وقت يقلت بحفشو تحيزنا دلو سرعت ناي زيو ناي تيو كتبلو تخيل ايكونن ابز حلفه شومن تشعت اوارح ابل علي اب تግራይ زنبرو سدتኛታት ኤርትራውያን ابل علي معسكرات حنጻጽን ሽመልባን ዝወረደ ጨውያ መቅተልትን ማእሰርትን ክሳብ ሕጁ እንዳሃዮም ዘይተ አበይ ከም ዘለው ዘይተፈልጡ ብዙሓት ስደተኛታት ኤርትራውያን ገፊፉ አበይ ከም ዘእቶም ዘይፍለጥን ገለውን ካብ ኤርትራ እንደገና መሊቆም ኣብዚ ሰዓት እዚ ኣብ ማዕስከራት ማይ ዓይንን ኣዳሓርሽን ከምኡን ኣብ ኣዲስ አበባን ይርከቡ ማለት እዚ ከምዚ ኢሉ እንከሎ እቲ ኣብ ልዕሊ ዞም ስደተኛታት ዝወረደ ኩሉ ዓይነት ኣደራዕ ኩሉ ዓይነት ፀገም ኩሉ ዓይነት መከራ በቲ ኣብ ዓድና ወይ ኣብ ሃገርና ዘሎ ካብ ኣብራኽ ነብሶ ከፍ ስድራ ዝወፀ ንዕኡ ከዓ ዝሃነፀ ስርዓት ናይ ህግደፍ እዩ ዝኸውን ዘሎ ማለት እዩ ሕጂ ድማ እቲ ኣብ ክልል ዓፋር ዝርከብ ኣብ ክልተ ማዓስከራት ዝርከብ ህዝቢ ስደተኛታት ካብ ናይ ኤርትራ ዓፋር ከምኡውን ምስቲ ኣብ ክልል ዓፋር ተዋሂዱ ዝነብር ከምዚ ክቡር ሓው ኣሕመድ ዮሱፍ ክብሎ ዝፀንሐ ልዕሊ 100,000 ዝኾኑ ስደተኛታት ኣብቲ ዞባ ኣለዉ ማለት እዩ ናይ ምእታው ናይ ሻዕብያ ወይ ናይ ህግደፍ ወይ ናይ ሰራዊት ኢሳያስ አፈወርቂ ናብዚ ናይ ክልል ዓፋር ኣብ ዝሓለፈ ክልተ ሰሙን ካብ ዕለት 12 ወርሒ 8 ኣትሒዝና ዝተረጋገፀ ሓበሬታ ረኺብና እቲ ሓበሬታ ብትእትታው ናይ ዞባዊ ሰራዊትን ኣጋር ከቢድ ብረትን ተፈላለዩ ናይ ከቢድ ብረት ኣባላትን ንዓፋር ከምኡ ድማ ኣብ ናይ ዞባ ደቡብ ድፍዓት ከም ዝተፀግዐ ንውሽጢ ኣብ መሬት ናይ ትግራይ ከም ዝዓረደ ኣብ ዓዲ ጎሹ ዝበሃልን ኣብ ከባቢ ሕመራ ሰቲት ሕመራ ከዓ ብብዝሒ ሰራዊት ኣትዩ ከም ዘሎን ብንጹር ኣብቲ ቦታ ሓበሬታ ምስ ረኸብና ንዝምልከቶ ንሕና ነቲ ኣብቲ ዞባ ኣብ ዘይውሕስ ኩነት ዘሎ ስደተኛታት ህዝብና ንድሕነቱ ክንብል ንዩኤንኤችሲአር ይኹን ንዩኤን ኣጀንሲስ ፎር ሬፊጂስ ይኹን ነዚ ሓበሬታ እዚ ክንህቦም ክኢልና ኢና ሳዕ ሕጂ ዘለና ጭቡጥ ሓበሬታ ከዓ ናይ ኢሳያስ ሰራዊት ናብ ክልል ዓፋርን ኣብ ናይ ሰቲት ሕሞራ ዞባ ክሳብ ዓዲ ገሹብቲ ዘሎ ግንባርን ብዝተፈላለየ ክፋል ናይ ኤርትራ ከዓ ካብ ባዳ ጀሚርካ ክሳብ ባድመ ወይ ክሳብ ሰቲት ስጋብ ተከዘ ዘሎ ኣትዩ ከም ዘሎን ከምዚ ተሰምዕዎ ዘለኹም እውን ኣብዚ ዝሓለፈ 3 መዓልቲ የጥቅዕ ከም ዘሎ ፈሊጥና ኣለና ማለት እዩ ስለዚ ምትእትታው ናይዚ ስርዓት እዚ ኣብ ልዕልቶም ብሰንኩ ዝሃደሙ ስደተኛታት ኣብ ትግራይ ዘውረዶ ኣደራዕ ኣቕሊልካ ዝርእስ ዘይኮን ንዕኡ ዝኾን ከዓ ዓብይ ሰነድ ኣዳሊና ምዝምልከቶም ምስ መሻርክትና ተስቲሞኒስ ተኻይድሎ ርኢኹም ትኾን ኢኹም ብዙሕ እዋን ዘርጊሕናዮ ኢና ኣብኡ ዘለና ምስ ፕሮቴክሽን ዲፓርትመንት ናይ ዩናይትድ ኔሽን ሃይ ኮሚሽን ፎር ሬፊጂስ እውን ምስ ናይ ዝተፈላለዩ ዓበይቲ ማዕከናት ዜና ክስነድ ኣለዎ ስለ ዝበልና እናሰነድና ንኸይድ ኣለና እዚ ኣደራዕ እዚ ኣብ ልዕልቶም ኣብ ዓፋር ዕቑባ ሓቲቶም ዝነብሩ ዘለዉ ኣሕዋትና ስደተኛታት ዓፋር ከይወርድ ዘለና ዓብይ ክፍታ ከዓ ደጊምና ንማሕበረሰብ ዓለም ንፅዋዕ ኣለና ማለት ስለዚ ምትእትታው ናይዚ ስርዓት እዚ ናብ ክልል ዓፋር ማለት ነቶም ካብ ዞባ ደቡብ ቀይሕ ባሕሪ ናይ ኤርትራ ዝተሰደዱ ኣሕዋትና ዓፋር ካብቲ ስርዓት ሃዲሞም ከብቅዑ ተመሊሱ በዚ ስርዓት እዚ ኣብ ልዕሊኦም ክኸይድ ዝኽእል ናይ ሞት ናይ መጭወይትን ናይ ማእሰርትን ኣብ ልዕሊኦም ክኸይድ ንዝኽእል ኩሉ ዓይነት ሕሰም ናይ ወዲሰብ እቲ ኣብ ዓዶም እንከለዉ ዝረኸብዎ መከራ ኣብኡ ስዒቡ እውን ከም ዘይምሕሮም እኳ ደኣ ኣብ ልዕሊኦም ካብቲ ኣብ ልዕሊቶም ኣብ ትግራይ ዝነበሩ ስደተኛታት ብዝኸፍአ ንምፅናት ዘርኢ ኤሪትራውያን ዝተዓጠቐ ስርዓት ከም ምዃኑ መጠን ብዝበዝሐ ክገብሮ ምዃኑ ዘለና ስክፍታ ንሕና ኣቐዲምና ንዝምልከቶም ኣብ ወዲሰብ ዝግደሱ ትካላት ሓቢርና ኣለና ሕጂ እውን ኣብዚ ፕረስ ኮንፈረንስ ተረኺበ ብሽም ፋውንዴሽን ሁማን ራይትስ ፎር ኤሪትሪያንስ ነዚ ዘረባ እዚ የስማዕ ኣለኹ ማለት እዩ ኩልኹም ክቡራት ተቃለስቲ ንኤርትራውያን ኣብ ሕሰምን መከራን ንዘለዉ ንኽተገላግሉን ከም ሰብ ንቡር ሰብኣዊ መሰሎም ተኸቢሩ ንኽነብሩ እትገብሮ ቃልሲ ዘለኒ ደጊመ ይገልጽ ይፈቱ ንዝገበርኩም ለይ ዕድማ ከዓ ይቐንየለይ ይብል
Thank you, Brother Mulu Burhan. That's much appreciated. Very clear and concise. We appreciate the support in the fight to liberate all Eritreans and Ethiopians. That's much appreciated. Brother Shaheen, you want to give some input in this? You're on mute.
There you go. Thank you very much. And I'd like to start by extending my condolences to the families of victims of victims of this war, family of victims of this war, senseless war. And the first thing I want to say is really like at Afar, we had nothing to do with this war. We didn't plan the war. We didn't start the war, and we didn't fight in the war. But it's still the war came to us. So what I like to say is that atrocities that happen in Galikoma and places like that should be investigated by independent parties, and perpetrators of this crime should be brought to justice. At the same time, we worried about the refugee population that's in Afar Afar refugee population that is in Ethiopia, because we we heard from brother Ahmad and the other brother Mulu. There's an evidence that Eritrean soldiers are in Afar region of Ethiopia, and we're really worried about the safety of this and safety of our refugees, and it should be condemned. And thank you very much. That's all I have to say right now. And if I had
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, Brother Shaheem. We'll go to our brother Jonas. Everyone knows Brother Jonas. Go ahead, Brother Jonas.
Okay, thank you for setting all this up. Thank you for everybody being on the panel and to have a discussion. This is for me, I look at this as a game changer, a huge announcement when we're hearing Ethiopian Afar aligning themselves with supporting for self-determination and supporting with TDF. That's major. And also for Eritrean Afar, who recognize all the atrocities that are happening and continue to fight for not only the sovereignty of Eritrea, but also the liberation and for justice, especially for the Afar nation. So it's very important. And so I have a series of questions. Let me know when I can get into the questions. But I'm definitely in support in any struggle, any efforts towards justice, because without that, there'll be no peace. So that's going to be the game changer. So I really appreciate for everything that's being done.
Thank you. Thank you, brother. What I wanted to highlight is a lot of people are just joining. Some are leaving, coming. What is the topic? The topic is the Eritrean and Ethiopian Afar unification against the dictators, Abiy Ahmed and Isaias Afwerki. We all know the real reason for war. I mean, there's a lot of reasons for war and conflict within the Horn, but we also know how important the ASEB and the port is. We understand the key holders of this whole movement of Eritrea liberation is also that port. We understand Addis Ababa, Amhara elites, Abiy Ahmed, they're all focused on that port. But at what cost? We also understand the cost is the Afars, the Eritrean Ethiopian Afars, right? They've been decimated. It's a lot of destruction of Afar region, but nobody ever highlights this. That's the issue. Everyone's focused on Isaias Afwerki and Abiy Ahmed. But our Muslim brothers and sisters, the Afarians in Eritrea and Ethiopia, have been suffering for years, to include their population downgrade from 600K in Eritrean Afars to 400K, as Brother Ahmed has taught me. But none of us highlight this. But this is a game changer for sure, Brother Jonas, because the Afarians, to me, are the key holders to what is going to transpire in Eritrea, minus and plus everything else that's going on. Because that port is a special interest to outside agencies, to include Arabs. When I say Arab, I mean UAE and other organizations. It's ARDUF, United States, Kulum. Even Australia, mining companies, Canada mining companies. We know all this. But why aren't the Afars highlighted as they should be? So now the Afars have a progressive combined movement, right? Because they're soldiers as well, and they're not going to stand for this. And they're coming to tell you what the changes are and what's going to happen within the unification to remove the dictator. If we all thought in the same thought process as what's happening and transpiring here, we wouldn't have no dictators. But the issue is there's too much separations and agendas. Well, we'll see how this movement goes. I'm very supportive in this as well. I believe that Isaias Afwerki's time is up, and I also believe Abiy Ahmed's time is up. It's just a matter of how and when. Before we go to the questions, Is there Brother Ahmed, did you want to add to it before I move into the questions?
Now, forward to the question. We're ready.
Thank you. Perfect. Okay. The first question is, what is ARDUF and EANC stand for, and what is their primary goal? We can start with Brother Ahmed.
I will let Brother Muhammad answer for ARDUF. For us,
Can you hear me, Brother Ahmed?
Yes, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Doctor? Captain, can you hear me? Jonas, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I think Captain is frozen.
Yep.
What EANC stands for is Eritrean Afar National Congress. As I mentioned, our organization is dedicated to fighting for the rights of self-determination for the Afar Eritreans in the Afar homelands of Dankalia. And as I mentioned, our people, the reason why we are using all our means, including forging relations with people who can assist us and people who can collaborate with us, is to get rid of the regime, the tyrannical system, Eritrean regime that has subjected our people, specifically, systematically, have inflicted ethnic cleansing, displacement, mass murder, mass graves. All of these atrocities have forced almost 200,000 Afar people from their homeland at Dankalia. The sign you see here, Dankalia is not for sale. What we mean by that is not only all of these atrocities are committed by this terrible tyrannical system since 1991, but they are selling Dankalia to, like you mentioned, people like the Australian mining giants, like digging potash, people like those United Arab Emirates who are taking our ports, killing our fishermen. Not only that, just recently they've been accused of involving themselves in Tigray genocide. So, I mean, all of this is happening in Dankalia. So it's time that the Afar people themselves rise up, and also we are urging other Eritreans and people from Tigray, Tigray leadership, Oromo leadership. Anyone can help us to get rid of the tyrannical system. I mean, after all, Abiy and Isaias have made these two nations as one. As you know, the planning for genocide in Tigray is coming from Afwerki. You know, he had no business coming to Ethiopia, and that's what all the international community are saying. Get out of Ethiopia, because they know how terrible this regime is. Whatever they put their foot on, it causes fire. That's why we're saying to other brothers and sisters, join us, join the fight for the Afar people, and the sooner we get rid of the regime in Eritrea, the sooner, the better the peace and security is for all Eritreans and Ethiopians. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, Mohammed.
Mohammed can answer for ARDUF.
As I told you earlier, our audience mostly listen either Afar or Amharic. So I will continue in Amharic. If you have a question, maybe concerning different area, I can answer in English, but I will continue with the Amharic at this point. አመሰግናለሁ ወንድም ለጠየቀን ጥያቄ አርዱፍ የተመሰረተው 1970ዎቹ አካባቢ ነው በአፋር ህዝብ ላይ እየደረሰ በነበረው በተለይ በደርግ መንግስት እንግዲህ በአፋር ብቻ ሳይሆን በኤርትራም በትግራይም በሌሎች የኢትዮጵያ ክፍሎች እያደረሰ ከነበረው አሰቃቂ ጦርነትና ችግር በመነሳት የአፋር ህዝብን ለመታደግ የተቋቋመ ድርጅት ነው ከተቋቋመበት ጊዜ ጀምሮ ለአፋር ህዝብ መብት ራሱን በራሱ የማስተዳደር መብት የራሱን አካባቢውን በራሱ ሀገር በሰላም የመኖር በቋንቋው የመናገር እንዲችል የተቋቋመና የታገለ ድርጅት ነው። እንደምታውቁት በዛም ወቅት በኃይለ ሥላሴ በደርግ ጊዜ የአፋር ህዝብ በኢትዮጵያ ውስጥ በተለያየ ክፍለ ሀገር ተከፋፍሎ በአምስት ክፍለ ሀገር ተከፋፍሎ ተሰጥቶ የነበረና የራሱ ቋንቋ የማይጠቀም በራሱ ልጆች የማይተዳደር ስለነበረ ይህንን ለመታገል የተቋቋመ ድርጅት ነው። እንግዲህ ትግሉ የጠየቀውን መስዋዕት ሁሉ ከፍለዋል። የአፋር ህዝብ ያውቋል። ከዛ በመቀጠል በኢህአዴግ ደርግ በወደቀበት ጊዜ ደግሞ የነበረውን ራስን በራስ የማስተዳደር ጥያቄ ከመጣው አዲስ መንግስት ጋር ተደራድሮ የአፋር ክልል በአሁኑ ሰዓት ባለው ሸብ እንዲዋቀር የአፋር ህዝብ በራሱ ቋንቋ እንዲማር በራሱ ቋንቋ እንዲዳኝ ባቀረበው ጥያቄ ከነበረው መንግስት ጋር ተደራድረን ይህንን ሁኔታ በከፊልም ቢሆን በተግባር ላይ ውሎ ነበረ። ከዛ በኋላ ኢህአዴግ መንግስትንም ተዋግተናል። ለምን በወረቀት ላይ የሰፈረውን የመተዳደሪያ ደንብ ወይም ህገ መንግስት የሚባለውን ሙሉ በሙሉ በተግባር ስላልዋለ መዋል አለበት በሚል ከኢህአዴግ መንግስት ጋርም ተዋግተናል። ግን አሁን በተለይ ከ3 ዓመት በፊት የመጣውን የአብይ አስተዳደር የበለጠ ኮንስቲቱሽኑን ተግባር ላይ ለመዋል ቀርቶ ይህንን ኮንስቲቱሽንን አጥፍቶ የክልላዊ አስተዳደር ራስ ህዝቦች በራሳቸው ቋንቋ፣ ባህል፣ ታሪክ እንዳይጠቀሙ ይህንን የነበረውን ሙሉ በሙሉ ባይሆንም በከፊል ስራ ላይ የነበረውን የክልላዊ መንግስታትና አስተዳደር በማጥፋት ድሮ ወደ ነበርንበት ጨለማ አህዳዊ ስርዓት ለመመለስ የራሳቸውን ስልጣን ቅድም እንዳልኩት በአስመራም ሆነ በአዲስ አበባ ስልጣናቸውን ለማራዘም ብቸኛው መንገድ አህዳዊነት ስለሆነ ይሄ አህዳዊነት ለማስከተል ከዚህ ተቀራኒ የሆነውን በሙሉ ማጥፋት አለብን ከሚል የተነሳ ስለሆነ ከድሮም የበለጠ እየታገልናቸው አሁንም ጥምረት ያስፈልገውና አንድ ላይ መስራት ያስፈልገው ከኤንሲ ጋር እዛም እዚህም ጠላቶቻችን አንድ ስለሆኑ ጠላትን አንድ ላይ ሆነን መመከት ስላለብን አሁን የበለጠ ትግል እንድናካሄድ ተገደናል። አመሰግናለሁ።
Thank you. Captain, do you want me to go to the next question if you're there? Okay. He comes back on. Okay, so I'm going to ask next question. Ahmed, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So my next question is, now that EANC and ARDUF are making this announcement, who are additional allies to the cause right now, and what's the political capacity and military capacity?
Very good. The allies are whoever wants to fight for the rights and respect their rights and respecting specifically I'm talking to Eritreans is to have this 30 years of misery to be gone as soon as possible. So whoever is willing, the Eritrean solution of course is going to come from Eritrean led opposition, and we are just a single part of that, and whoever is coming to assist us removing this tyrannical system in Eritrea is our partner. So it's wide open for anyone to join. So we are just fed up of waiting for anyone, and we are taking the first step, and we are hopeful that many others can join us. I mean, you've seen Brother Haile Mariam here. His organization is almost on board, and other Eritreans have already are working with Tigray, TDF, and others, mobilizing their resources. I mean, the Eritreans are fed up, and there is going to be a bigger umbrella alliance. It's not just Afar and Afar here. It's going to grow. So it's open for anyone to join.
Okay. And then there was civilians that were killed in Afar. And then if anybody can answer this, when the civilians were killed, one group says this group did it, one group says this group did it. And from my understanding, the electricity is out and is controlled by the government of Ethiopia. So my question is, can you provide more insight on that atrocity that happened?
Yes, Mohammed is more appropriate to answer that question. You're talking about massacre in Galikoma, right?
Yes. Yep. The massacre in Galikoma in Afar region in Ethiopia.
Yes. Mohammed, go ahead.
አሁንም በአማርኛ ነው የሚቀጥለው። ጋሊኮማ ላይ ይሰማችኋል? አሁን ጋሊኮማ ላይ የተፈጠረው ሁኔታ መጀመሪያ ከጋሊኮማ በፊት እንዴት ያ ጦርነት ተነሳ የሚለውን ትንሽ ላብራራና ያለው በሚባል አካባቢ የኢትዮጵያ መንግስት ማዕከላዊ መንግስት ሰራዊትና የኦሮሚያ ልዩ ኃይል በጣም ብዛት ያለው ከ160 ሺህ በላይ የሆነ ያለው በሚባል አካባቢ አድርጎ ወደ ትግራይ ለማስወጣት ነበረ ፕላኑ። ያለው ጨርጨር መኮን የሚባሉ የትግራይ ክልል አካባቢ በጣም ቅርብ ስለሆነ በዛው ማጨው ለመያዝ ነበር ዋናው ይሄን ኃይል የተንቀሳቀሰውና ሲዲኤፍ ይሄንን ኢንፎርሜሽን መረጃ ስለነበረው እዛ ከመውጣታቸው በፊት በነበሩበት በአፋር ያለው ከተማ ጦርነት ከፈተባቸውና ጦርነቱ በተከፈተበት ጊዜ ሸሽተው ያ ሁሉ ሰራዊት ሸሽተው ወደ ሳውዝ ማለት ወደ ደቡብ ሸሸ። ከዛ በኋላ የትግራይ ኃይሎች ተከታትለው እንዳያችሁ በዜናዎች አውራ ኡዋ ጎሊና የተባለ እስከ ጭፍራ አካባቢ ከኋላ ኋላ እያሯሯጧቸው እዛ አካባቢ ሲደርሱ ከኢትዮጵያ በኩል ሌላ ኃይል ተጨምሮላቸው ጋሊኮማ በሚባል አካባቢ በጣም ኃይለኛ ውጊያ ተካሂዶ የኢትዮጵያ ሰራዊት በጦርነቱ በጣም ስለተጎዳ የአየር ኃይል አውሮፕላን መጥቶ እንዲያግዛቸው በመጠየቃቸው አውሮፕላኑ የቲዲኤፍን አካባቢ እንመታለን በማለት በስህተት ይሁን አውቆም ይሁን የአፋር ተፈናቃዮች የነበሩበት ትምህርት ቤትና ጤና ጣቢያ ላይ ትላልቅ ቦምቦች በመጣል ነው ያ ሁሉ የአፋር ወጣት ህፃን ሴቶች አረጋውያን ያለቁበትና ይሄ ከዜና አውታሮች ሳይሆን እዛው ከነበሩበት ከቆሰሉ ሰዎች ያገኘናቸው ትክክለኛ መሬት ላይ ያለው መረጃ ነው። በጣም ብዙ የሆኑ የውጭም ይሁን የውስጥን የዜና አውታሮች ቲዲኤፍ እንደገደለ ነው የዘገበው። ያው የመንግስት ዜና ወኪሎች የሚሰጧቸው ናቸው ኢንክሉዲንግ የውጭ ሚዲያዎች። ስለዚህ ያለው ሀቅ ይሄ ነው። ይሄ ህዝብ ያለቀው በአውሮፕላን ነው። ቲዲኤፍ እንደምናውቀው አውሮፕላን የለውም እና በዚህ ላይ ያቁመዋል።
Hello.
Okay, thank you.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead. Is that Teddy?
Jonas, I have Teddy.
Hello.
Teddy has some questions.
Hello. Muhammad. Hello.
Yeah, hold on.
ተጨማሪ መሐመድ ጋር ተጨማሪ ካርዶፍ ነው አይደረግም ይባላል። ትንሽ ላብራራው ከመሐመድ ያለውን ትንሽ ስፋት ያለ ላብራራ አለችው ጉዳዩ
Jonas, he's adding to what Mohammed had to say. This is Mohammed's colleague from ARDUF.
Member of our group.
Okay, I understand. Go ahead.
Tatrus? يا بني.
Hi Daria. Haidar. Is there any technical problem maybe? Haidar.
Okay, as soon as he comes back on,
Yeah,
let's continue with him. But I think Teddy had a question, and then Teddy, if you can translate a little bit what we just heard as well. Go ahead, Teddy. Okay, I think Teddy is. Teddy, is your mic working? Captain, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Something's going on.
Teddy had written a note. Maybe you should go to him.
Let me see. Yeah, I don't see the question though. He just says I had a couple questions to ask. All right, I can go to my next question. Mohammed, are you able to hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. So here's the big question. This is a big question because a lot of people talk about it, and for some reason, everybody skips Afar. So, for example, with Tigray, they talk about Abai Tigray, and they skip Afar people. With Ethiopia, they talk about one Ethiopia. Again, they talk about Asab. They skip Afar people. With Eritrea, they talk about Asab. Again, they're displacing Afar people. So the common component is Afar people because constantly being oppressed, this and that. That's a fact. It's already happened, and it's already happening. So from an Eritrean Afar perspective, what do you say about that? And also for Ethiopian Afar, what do you say about that? Go ahead.
Okay, I'll go first. Your question is very timely and very important question. As you mentioned, we hear this question a lot, but we're going to break it down into two questions. Number one is the question of Eritrea sovereignty. This is coming not only from threat from Ethiopians like the Amhara expansionists, but also from the Eritrean compatriots. And very important to highlight that the Afar in Eritrea are part and parcel of Eritrea. We are the key ingredient that made Eritrea Eritrea. We have fought prior to Eritrea was known in this region. The Afar fought without Eritrea name to fight against all of the colonial invasions, you name it, the French, the Italians, the whoever. There are so many battles that the Afar have sacrificed more than anyone in the land that is called Eritrea right now. So the question of sovereignty is Eritrea sovereignty is very dear to us. We don't play with that. We want Eritrea to be united, but what we want more than anyone, just like anyone, is that Eritrea to be fair, Eritrea to respect the rights of everyone, including the Afar rights to self-government, the Afar rights to autonomy, the Afar rights to self-determination, the Afar rights to own their land and resources. I mean, this is a basic right for every country and every human being. So by saying that, there is sometimes misunderstanding coming from our Eritrean brothers. So we want to make it clear again and again that the Afar in Eritrea are pro-Eritrea, defends the Eritrean sovereignty and integrity and a territory more than anyone. So we are not going to compromise on that. But what we're saying simply is that for Eritrea, to be a democratic nation, the Afar's right to self-determination, as we just spoke, need to be constitutionally implemented, that the Afar way of life, the Afar economy, the Afar ports, the Afar resources need to first and foremost address the needs of the Afar people. Then we can share those two with Eritreans and anyone else. So that is as far as the Eritrean sovereignty. The second part is that yes, we're hearing a lot of noises coming from the Ethiopian sides. On the question of ASAP, who is ASAP belongs to, and most recently, there was a report on Ethiopia's intention to bring Ethiopian Navy in the Afar territory, in Eritrean territory. I mean, we reject that. And we also reject the notion that this land do not belong to anyone. That's what Eritrean Afwerki is saying. He's selling it left and right. And those who are extremist Amaras with their ideologies of centralist government. And by the way, this is what we're fighting in Eritrea. This excessively centralized, racist, that discriminates against religious or ethnic and other components of Eritrea. So we do not want to see this union to go forward. I mean, it is very dangerous for Afar in Eritrea and other nationality. This is what Tigrayans and the Oromos and others are fighting against. They don't want to go back to this Mililik time. Kind of like oppressive centralist model of governance. This is why Ethiopia have this constitutional model that respects the rights of each nation's and nationality. So to come back to the issue of ASAP, the ASAP has been on the nose of Ethiopians more than anyone. Ethiopian, especially when I mean the Amharas. The Amharas, because of the experience they had during the Derg, they want to claim ASAP, but that is not going to happen until the Afar, like us, who are fighting for the rights of the Afar and the sovereignty of Eritrea and the self-determination of Afar. By the way, we are not opposed having socio-economic development partnership with Ethiopian. This is not the point. The point is that for these rights to be guaranteed, for Ethiopians to use the port of ASAP, first and foremost, the Afar people needs to be the grievances completely need to be addressed, not just by nice talk, but constitutionally guaranteed inside Eritrea. As well as the Ethiopians need to respect the sovereignty of Eritreans so that they are allowed to use these resources. And by the way, to the people of Tigray, we share your pain. We understand the embargo that's on the people of Tigray. If the Afar people, if the EANC were to be the governing, or the Afar self-determination were to be guaranteed, we want to make sure the people of Tigray are not put in this position by those who want to ethnically destroy them. So we are with you. We support your causes. This goes beyond the Tigrayan people to all Ethiopians, that we want Ethiopia to do well. But the problem is, you cannot do that by force. You need to recognize people's rights to the land, to their governance, to the sea, to their port. All of these belongs to the Afar people, and their rights need to be respected.
Thank you, Ahmed. I appreciate that. Now, I think Teddy's, he can ask the question now. Teddy, is your mic working? Unmute your mic if it's working. Okay. I can go into the next question if it's not working.
I think you had a question for Mohammed.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, I think it's by your side. Sometimes I cannot control it. Okay, thank you so much for the opportunity. And I have a couple questions for Mr. Ahmed and Mr. Mohammed. And Mr. Ahmed, do you have or have you initiated any relationship with the government of Tigray? Or do you already have? And my second question to you is, do you have any military force in the ground? The second question, I have a question to Mr. Mohammed. የአፋር አብዮታዊ ዲሞክራሲያዊ ግንባር ማለት ነው እና ከትግራይ መንግስት ወይም ከቲዲኤፍ እየተነጋገራችሁ መሆናችሁ ጠቅሰዋልና የተስማማችሁ ጉዳዮች ካሉ በምን ነው እየተነጋገራችሁ ያላችሁት? ደግሞ የተነጋገራችሁ ካላችሁ በምን የተስማማችሁ ነገር ጉዳዮች ካሉ ቢጠቅሱልኝ ጥሩ ነው። ከዛ ቀጥሎ ደግሞ የታጠቁ ቡድን በመሬት ካላችሁ ደግሞ ብናውቅ ጥሩ ነበር። አመሰግናለሁ።
Ahmad.
Okay. If I should I answer the first two questions?
Yes.
Okay, so if the first question is what type of relations are you, or do you have any relations with the Tigrayan leadership? The answer is yes. We are working closely. We are watching closely. Our partnership, like I said, is from the Eritrean component. Whatever happens in Eritrea, if Eritrean regime is involved, we are with TDF. We know what Eritrean regime has done to the people of Tigray, not to the government of Tigray, but to the people of Tigray. So as a people to people, we share their pain and we want to work with them. And we have initiated this discussion to work closely and to get rid of, like I said, the tyrannical system that is oppressing them and oppressing us. The second component of your question, I'm not in privy to answer that at this moment. But we are working to have a strong Afar force to deal with the Eritrean regime, not politically but also militarily. So I leave it at that.
Thank you.
አመሰግናለሁ ወንድም ለጥያቄው። አንደኛ ወንድም አህመድ መልሰዋል። ትንሽ ከትግራይ መንግስትና ከትግራይ ጦር ኃይሎች ጋራ በሚገባ እየተነጋገር ኤቭሪዴይ እንግዲህ በየቀኑ እየተነጋገር ያለውን ሁኔታዎች እየገመገምን አብረን እየሄድን ነው ያለነው። ብዙ ነገሮች ላይ ተነጋግረናል። ብዙ ነገሮች ላይ ተስማምተናል። ያስማማን ጉዳይ ቅድም እንዳልኩት እነዚህ ኃይሎች ድሮ የተዋጋንና አሸንፈናቸው የነበርነው የአህዳውያን ኃይሎች ተመልሰው እንዳይመጡ በጋራ ለመታገልና እነዚህ አብይና ኢሳያስ እና እነሱን የሚከተሉትን ለመዋጋት ተስማምተናል። ከዛ ቢዮንድ ያለው የትግራይ ህዝብ ወንድም ህዝብ ነው። በትግራይ ህዝብ ላይ የደረሰውን ግፍ በዓለም ተሰምቶ የማይታወቅ ነው። ይሄንም እንደ ጎረቤት እንደ አፋር ሳይሆን እንደ ሰው በመሆናችን ብቻ የምንቃወመው ነው። ከነሱ ጋር አብሮ የሚያቆመን ራሱ ይሄ ነው። ከዛ ውጭ እንግዲህ አሁን እዚህ የሚያስፈልግ አይመስለኝም። የተፈራረምነው የተስማማንባቸው ብዙ ነገሮች አሉ ከትግራይ መንግስትና ከትግራይ ተዋጊ ኃይሎች። ሁለተኛ ጥያቄ ሰራዊት የታጠቀ ሜዳ ላይ ያላችሁ ወይ ለሚለው ጥያቄ ኦፍ ኮርስ የስ የኛ ኃይል በፊት ከደርግም ጀምሮ ኢህአዴግ በከፊሉ የሻዕቢያ መንግስት ደግሞ አሁን ብቻ ሳይሆን በፊት በአፋር አካባቢ በተለይ በሰሜናዊ የአፋር አካባቢ በኢትዮጵያ ቦርደር እየገባ ያስቸግር በነበረበት ጊዜም ከነሱ ጋር ተዋግተናል እና አለን የታጠቀ ኃይለኛ ህዝባዊ መሰረት ያለው ኡጉጉሞ በሚል የሚታወቅ ሰራዊታችን የአርዱፍ ሰራዊት ነው። ኡጉጉሞ እንግዲህ ኢንፎርሜሽን ለሌላችሁ ኡጉጉሞ ማለት የሰራዊት ስም ሲሆን አርዱፍ ማለት የፖለቲካ ድርጅት ስም ነውና ኡጉጉሞ በመሬት በህዝቡ መሃል በየቦታ እየታገለ ያለ ታጣቂ ኃይል ነው አለን ለማለት ነው።
Thank you.
Teddy, was that good for your questions?
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome. Captain, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you, brother. Yeah, these are all great questions, brother Jonas. The only thing is not to throw a wrench in the system, but brother Ahmed and brother Mohammed, the question is, there's a lot of people have their views and political strategies and how they view things, right? You got you got religious aspect, you got different countries, you know. Only issue is if the Afarian groups are united as one, Eritrean and Ethiopian Afars, how does that cause an issue for you know, you have people who are against TPLF, against the TDF that are in Eritrea. Does that affect your movement in any way? Does that affect how you want the Afarian movement to work together to defeat both dictators?
Okay. You raise a very important question because there's a lot of confusion, as you said, amongst the people and amongst others. So what? I mean, people from Ethiopia and Eritrea. I mean, so what we want to make clear is that the reason we are not fighting under one name is because of this question. We represent the Afar, specifically respecting the sovereignty and border of Eritrea. The UGUGUMOs doing their respective work on the confines of Ethiopia. So, but that does not prevent us from working together. Given the current situation, we mentioned both dictators being the problem for the Afar people in both countries. So what we can do is a lot. Like I mentioned at the beginning of my presentation, in the 70s, the Afar, the Eritrean Liberation Front, the ELF, was working hand in hand with the UGUGUMO at its infancy to help them logistically, militarily, to work together between the two Afars. At one point, they were fighting Tigray. They were not called Tigray Defense Force back then, but you know, Tigray Liberation Front, and they because of the Afar situation. The Afar from Eritrea were working hand in hand with the Afar from Ethiopia. So so nothing prevents us from, as Afar people who share border, who share culture, who share so many things, who share blood. There is no one closer to Afar. The Afar, there's no. This is a border that has been imposed on us. So we understand the sensitivity in two countries, but at the same time, the danger is far greater than this type of concerns, because we respect the sovereignty and the territory of each country. You know, so this is what we say. I leave it at that and let Mohammed follow up on that.
አመሰግናለሁ። ቅድምም የተነሳ ጥያቄ ትንሽ ሊጨምርበት በዛው ላይ ታላቁ አፋር ታላቁ ትግራይ ወደሚባለው ትንሽ ሊመልሳችሁና ከኮሎኒ በፊት ሁላችን እንደምናውቀው ሁሉም ህዝቦች የራሱ የሆነ አስተዳደር የራሱ የሆነ ባህላዊ ሁኔታዎች በአንድ የሚኖሩ የነበሩ ስለነበረ ኮሎኒ መጥቶ ነው አሁን እንግዲህ ያው ኤርትራ ኢትዮጵያ ጅቡቲ የምንለውና አሁን የመጣው ጥያቄዎች የሚመጣውና ታላቁ ትግራይ የሚሆን ታላቁ አፋር ሌሎችም ህዝቦች ድሮ እንደነበሩ በአንድ ላይ የመኖር ፍላጎት በሁሉም ቦታ አለ። ግን ህጋዊነት ያስፈልጋል። ወደንም ጠላንም በኃይል ተከፋፍለናል። በተለያየ ሀገር እየኖርን ነው። ያንንም ጠብቀን እየሄድን ነው። የኔ ጥያቄ ምንድነው? ፍላጎት አለ። ፍላጎት ብቻ ግን ምንም የሚሰራው መሬት ላይ ምንድነው ነው? አሁን ለምሳሌ የአፋር ህዝብ በኤርትራም በጅቡቲም በኢትዮጵያም ያለ ህዝብ አንድ ላይ መኖር ይፈልጋለሁ ብሎ ዲሞክራሲ ካለ ይሄ ሁሉ ይፈታል። አይ እኛ በኤርትራ ውስጥ ያለነው የአፋር ህብረተሰብ በአሁኑ ሰዓት እንግዲህ ወደድንም ጠላንም በዚህ ክፍል እየተዳደር ነው ለረጅም ጊዜና ከወንድም ተቀረው ኤርትራ ህዝብ ጋር መኖር እንፈልጋለን። አይ አይደለም ከአፋር ጋር ተቀላቅለን ከአፋር ጋር መኖር እንፈልጋለን የሚል ጥያቄ የሚመጣው ዲሞክራሲ ካለ ነው። ዲሞክራሲ ካለ የሁሉ ችግር አይመጣም፣ የሁሉ ጥያቄዎችም አይመጣም። ምክንያቱም በዲሞክራሲ ህዝቦች የሚፈልጉትን ነገር የሚመርጡበትን አስተዳደር ይመጣል ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ ያ እንዲመጣ እኛ ማድረግ ያለብን ይሄን ዲሞክራሲ ስርዓት እንዳይመሰረት ህዝቦች በፍላጎታቸው የሚፈልጉትን መምረጥ የማይችሉበት ሁኔታ እንዳይፈጠር እንቅፋት የሆኑ የራሳቸውን ስልጣን ብቻ ለማራዘም የሚሰሩ አህዳውያን እና አስተዳደሮች ለማጥፋት ተባብረን ያ የምንፈልገውን ዲሞክራሲያዊ ስርዓት አምጥተን ከዛ በኋላ በህዝቦች አሁን አለ የሚባለው ጥያቄዎች በብዙ መልክ ከኤርትራ ወንድሞቻችን በኩል ነው የሚመጣው የሚሰማው። የአፋር ህዝብ ከኤርትራ ጋር መኖር አይፈልግም፣ ታላቁ አፋር መሰረት ይፈልጋል፣ አፋር ትሪያንግል ምናምን የሚባለው ነገር በብዛት ከተለያየ ከኤርትራ ወንድሞቻችን ዘንድ ነው የሚሰማው። ይሄ ግን መሬት ላይ ያለ ነገር ለጊዜው አይደለም፣ የሚታሰብም አይደለም። እነዚህ ዲክቴተሮቹን አጥፍተን ዲሞክራሲያዊ ስርዓትን አስፍነን ከዛ በኋላ ህዝቦች ጥያቄ ካላቸው ህጋዊና በሰለጠነ መልክ መጠየቅ ይችላሉ። የህዝብ ድምጽ እንግዲህ የሚሰማ መንግስታት በሚኖሩበት ጊዜ በድምጽና በሪፈረንደም ሊፈታ የሚችል ይሆናል እና ይሄን ነው ማለት የሚፈልገው።
Okay. Thank you, sir. Jonas, I got a question for you. I know we during this press conference, you have to understand with the work that we're doing here, there's a little bit of I don't know where it's coming from. So with the work that we're doing here, you guys have to understand, like Brother Ahmed said, this is a very critical time. Also, it's very, very sensitive. The issue is the Eritrean population, some are still stuck on that TPLF talk from the past, right? I understand. But the new change, the new transition is all Hizbi Tigray has become TDF. From young to old to everything, right? They're not, the names are just the names. I understand the conflict in the past with with TPLF and ELF and EPLF, I understand. But now that Hizbi Tigray is under one banner, one umbrella as Tigray Defense Force to fight all dictators invading their countries, under what umbrella would you be working under the Afar nations? What umbrella would they be working under? If they unified, who would lead them? What banner would they be working under? And how do you propose to explain that to Eritrea and Tigray? They have to be able to accept this unification, whether the people like it or not. The Afars can unite regardless what anybody says. I understand that. But just to get the support in the ground movement, in logistics, in Kulu, everything. How do you propose to give this message to Hizbi Eritrea and Ethiopia? And is it already solidified that TDF will support your movement against both dictators? Obviously, it's a win-win for TDF if the Afar regions unite, whether the Eritrean Ethiopians to fight Abiy Ahmed and Isaias Afwerki. I'll go with brother Shaheem.
Yes. Thank you very much, Captain. Afar, actually, basically we're the same people, and people consider us such. And I'm going to start by saying, like, the last thing that happened, there was like a Somali and Afar war in Ethiopia, and in Djibouti, when Somalis when they got defeated in Ethiopia, they took their revenge on innocent civilians in Djibouti with the help of the regime and the police force, the Djibouti police force. So basically what we're saying is, as Afars, we are united, we have the same culture, we have the same people, and whatever whatever happens in to the people, Afar people in Djibouti, we feel it. And whatever happens to Afar in Ethiopia, Eritrean Afar feel it. And they're ready to support them with any way they can, as well as us being Eritreans. At the same time, we have like family members and refugees and Afars in Ethiopia. They help us a lot, and they help the Afar, Eritrean Afars a lot. And the same, I could say the same thing about the Djibouti Afars as well, just for being Afar. And the thing is, because like Brother Muhammad says, if we live in a democratic system, people can decide what they want to do and what measures to take, right? And that's why we have the same aspiration like everybody else. Like, we've been left behind by successive governments with regards to investments and infrastructure or medical care or you name it, anything. And the only thing they want is our resources, whether it's in the Eritrea or Ethiopia or anywhere. We want the port. We don't care about the people who live there, or they will just sell your land without telling you or anything like that. So we have the same aspiration for peace and to prosper like everybody else in this world. And then we're going to fight for that. And we're all going to fight together. When we, as Eritreans, we're going to fight the dictatorship, and our Ethiopian brothers, they're going to fight their own dictatorship as well. And whoever, like Muhammad said, what they call Ahadawi Mengisti in Ethiopia, which want to take the right of nationalism and nationalities and bring back the old feudal system back to Ethiopia. And that's not going to work because we are in the 21st century right now, and that's not going to work. So I think as Eritreans and as Afars and as Ethiopians and everybody, we should fight the dictatorship, make sure that the dictatorship doesn't get life, and then we should fight to bring democracy to our region. And thank you for the opportunity, and Brother Ahmed can add to that.
Before we go to Brother Ahmed, can we go to, I see Brother Haidara Idris. If he wants to shed some more light on that, Brother Idris, go ahead.
Hello. Hello. አመሰግናለሁ። ሰላም እንደምን አማችሁ የተከታተላችሁ ነው። በጣም ጥሩ ነው የሰማሁት ነው። ግን አንዳንድ ነገሮች መጀመሪያ መብራራት ያስብኩት ምንድነው አቶ መሐመድ የተናገሩት በአፋር በዞን 4 አካባቢ ያጋጠመው ችግር ነበረ። በዞን 4 መጀመሪያ ጦርነት በትግራይ እና በአፋር መካከል ሳይሆን የተጀመረው በመከላከያና በትግራይ ሰራዊት ጋር ነው። በትግራይ ሰራዊት መጋለል እንደቆጣጠረ በኋላ ይሄን ነገር እንዳይፈጸም በዛን ሰዓት ሀገር ሽማግሌዎች አቶ መሐመድ ያልጠቀሱ ሀገር ሽማግሌዎች ያደረጉት ትረት ነበረ። እሱን ትረት ምንድነው ትግራይ ሰራዊት እዚያ አካባቢ የኦሮሞ ልዩ ኃይልና የተለያዩ ክልሎች የመጡ ልዩ ኃይል መግባቱን ሲመጣ እነዚህ ልዩ ኃይሎች አስቆሙና መጀመሪያ እኛ ረግጣችሁ ታልፋላችሁ፣ ካልሆነ ግን በትግራይ በእኛ አድርጋችሁ ጥቃት አታደርሱ። በዛን ሰዓት እናንተ ልዩ ኃይል ናቸው። ልዩ ኃይሉ በህገ መንግስት በኢትዮጵያ ህገ መንግስት ላይ ብናየው ከአንድ ክልል ልዩ ኃይል ወደ ክልል መግባት አንድ ጸጥታ አካል ወደ ክልል ሌላ ክልል መግባት አይፈቀድም። ፌደራል መንግስት እንደፈለገ ያደርጋል። መጀመሪያ ፌደራል መንግስት ገብቶ ነበር ጦርነት የመጀመሪያ ጊዜ። አሁንም በዛን ሰዓት ሲከለከሉት ኦኬ ተመለሱ፣ እናንተ እንዲመለሱ ሲያደርጋቸው እነሱ ባሉበት ተመለሱና እነሱ ወደ ሽማግሌዎች ወደ ትግራይ ሰራዊት ጋር ለማነጋገር ሄዶ ሲነጋገሩበት ያለበት ሰዓት ነው ጥቃት የፈጸመው ደግሞ በክልል ርዕሰ መስተዳደር የታዘዘ ሌላ አካል እነሱ ባሉበት ሰዓት እነሱ በሽምግልና ያለበት ሰዓት ነው ውጊያው የተጀመረው። በዛን ሰዓት ትግራይ ሰራዊት የአፋር ህዝብ መሬት ለማውረድ ወይም የአፋር ህዝብ ላይ ጉዳት ማድረስ የሚፈልጉ እነዚህ ሽማግሌዎች በዛን ሰዓት ባሉበት ሽማግሌዎች ነበሩ። ሽማግሌዎች ብቻ ሳይሆን የልዩ ኃይሎች አባላት ነበሩ። የአፋር ልዩ ኃይል አባላት በቦታው እነሱ ላይ ጥቃት ሊያደርሱ ነበር። በዛን ሰዓት ኦኬ እኛ ራሳችን መከላከል ስለምንፈልግ ፊታችን እንድትለቁ ምናምን ብሎ በዛን ሰዓት ነው የተለቀው። ይሄ ነበር ጉዳዩ። በጋሊኮማ ላይ የተፈጸመው ነገር ወደ መመለሰው ያቆች ዳግም እንደመለሰላቸው እንደሆናችሁ ጋሊኮማ ላይ የተፈጸመው መንግስት ሆን ብሎ ነው እርዳታ የሚከፋፈልበት ቦታ ላይ ህዝብ ሰብስቦ ሆን ብሎ የፈጸመው የትግራይ ሰራዊት እንደፈጸመና አንድ የቀራው ነበረ በትግራይ ድንበር ላይ የሚኖረው አፋር ህዝብ ነው። አፋር ህዝብ የቀራው አማራ ለምንድን ነው ብቻ የሚሞተው? አማራ ብቻ አማራ የተባለ የሚጠራው ለዚህ አፋር ወደ ጦርነት ማስገባት አለን ብሎን ያቀደው ፕሮፓጋንዳ ፊልም አዘጋጅቶ ይሄን ፊልም ምን ማድረግ አለበት ሰው ህይወት ማለፍ አለበት ብሎ የሰው ህይወት እንዲያልፍ ያደረገው የአብይ መንግስት ነው። የሚያደርጉት ደግሞ የአፋር ህዝብ በዚህ በሻዕቢያ በዚህም በአሁን ባለበት በኤርትራ ውስጥ ያለው አፋር ላይ የሚያጋጥመው በሻዕቢያና በዘር መጥፋት እዚህ ጋር ደግሞ ተሳታፊ እንዲሆኑና በጉዳዩ ላይ አፋር ህዝብ ሁሉና እንዲጠፋ አፋር ህዝብ ጦርነት ትግራይ ህዝብ ጋር አልጀመረም። ትግራይ ህዝብና አፋር ህዝብ ከድሮም አብረን የታገለ ሰዎች ነን፣ አብረን ያሉ ሰዎች ናቸው። የትም ሰዓትም በአሁን ሰዓት ብቻ አንድ ዞን አካባቢ ነው። አሁን ባለፈው ያልሆነ ቦታ ተጀምረዋል በበራህላ አካባቢ። ከዛ በፊት ትግራይ በስልጣን በነበረበት ሰዓት አፋር ሚረትም አልፈለገም። ድንበሩን በትግራይ ክልልና በአፋር ትልቅ የታወቀ ድንበር አለ፣ የታወቀ አለ። የሚመጣው ነገር ካለ በህዝብና በሀገር ሽማግሌዎች የሚፈታ ነገር ነው። አሁንም አርዶፍ እንደ አርዶፍ የምንንቀሳቀስበት እኛም በመሬት ላይ ያለው ቢሆንም በውጭም ምንድነው ትግራይ ህዝብና የአፋር ህዝብ ጦርነት ውስጥ የደረሰበት ያለው ጉዳይ እንዳለ ይቆምና ጉዳዩን በተሻለ መጠን ህዝቡን የአብይ ተልዕኮ እነሱ ያሰቡበት ፕሮፓጋንዳ ትልቅ አላማ የአፋር ህዝብ ጭንቅላት የገቡ በአሁን ሰዓት ያለው ችግር ምን ላይ ነው? የትግራይ ሰራዊት አፋር መሬት እንደወረደና አፋር እንደገደለ ነው። ግን ሁኔታው ልይት ከዛው የተለያየ ነገር ነው። አፋር ህዝብ አልተወረነም። አባላ ስንት ኪሎ ሜትር ነው ያለው? ከመቀለ ብናየው 25-27 ኪሎ ሜትር ርቀት ላይ ነው። ሌላም አካባቢ ከትግራይ መሬት 27-28 ኪሎ ሜትር ነው። በምን አስፈለገ? እነሱ የሄዱበት ወደ ራይ የመጡበት ራሳቸውን ለማከላከል የተወሰነው ነው። አሁን ግን እነሱ የሚያደርጉት ምንድነው? ኦኬ አንድ መንገድ ተከፍተዋል። ይሄ መንገዱን ሁለት ጥላቻ በአማራና በአፋር በኩል ሁለቱም በህዝቡን እንዲማለቅ ህዝቡን እንዲያልቅ ማድረግ ያለው እቅድ ነው ለማለት እንፈልጋለሁ። ሁኔታው እንደዚህ ነበር የተጀመረበት በመከላከያ ሰራዊት በፌደራል መንግስት በዛን ሰዓት የኦሮሞ ልዩ ኃይል ጦርነት ሲጀመር ጦርነት ከፍቶ አንድ ደቂቃ ወይም አንድ ሰዓት የሚያክል አልቆይም። አካባቢውን ለቆ ወጡ። ለምን ትሄዳላችሁ? አይ የአፋር ህዝብ ስለተከለከለን ከሀገር ሽማግሌ ስለተከለከለን መመለስ አለብን ተብሎ ነው። ለምን ጀመሩ ጦርነት? ዋናው እስካሁን ድረስ መልስ ያልተገኘበት ጉዳይ ይሄ ነው። ጦርነት ጀምሮ ነው እነሱ የተውት። ግን ከአፋር ህዝብ ጋር ከዛ በኋላ ያው ሰው የሞተበት ሰዓት ሰው ራሱ በሌላም በኩል በክልሉ ያለው ያስባቸው አላማ ለማሰካተት ያቀደው ቡድንም በክልል ላይ የተቀመጠው ይሄ ነበር አላማቸው አሁን ተሳክቶላቸዋል። በተለያዩ መንገዶች በተለያዩ ነገሮች የሚያደርጉት አለ። ለዚህ ነው በሌላው አፋር ትልቅ አፋርና ትልቅ ትግራይ የሚለው ነገር አቶ መሐመድ እንዳለ ህዝብም ወስነው የአፋር ህዝብ በአሁን ሰዓት አይደለም ድንበርን ጠብቀን ኤርትራ ውስጥ ያለው በኤርትራዊነታቸው አምኖ በኤርትራ ትግል ተሳትፎ የነበሩ ሰዎች ናቸው። አሁንም ሰዓትም የትም ቢሆንም በፖለቲካም በሌላም ኤርትራዊነታቸው በዳር ድንበር ተጠብቀው ነው። ጅቡቲ ላይ ያለው ደግሞ እንደ ጅቡቲያውያን በመሆናቸው በጅቡቲ ዳር ኢትዮጵያ ውስጥ ያለው እንደዚህ ነው። እኛ የትም ሰዓት ስለ አፋር ታላቅ አፋር ለመመስረት ዲሞክራሲ አህመድ እንደካለ ዲሞክራሲ ካለ ዩኒየን አውሮፓ አንድ ሆናለች። የፈለገበት ሰዓትም የፈለገበት ቦታ ይገባሉ። የፈለገበት እንትና ማድረግ ይችላሉ። ጉዳዩን ህዝብ ዲሞክራሲ ካለ ሰላም ካለ ፍላጎት ካለ ድንበር ሰው ያስቀመጠ ነው እንጂ ፈጣሪ ወይም አላህ ያስቀመጠበት ነገር አይደለም። ሰው ያስቀመጠ ድንበር ነው። ይሄ አፋር ህዝብ ከሌላ ህዝቦች ጋር የማይኖርበት ነገር የለም። በኢትዮጵያ ያሉ በኢትዮጵያነትም ኮርቶ የሚኖሩ ሰዎች ናቸው። በኤርትራ ያሉም እንደዚህ ነው። በጅቡቲ ያሉም እንደዚህ ነው። ይሄ ነው ትግራይ እንደዚህ ፍላጎት ይኖረዋል። ግን ይሳካል አይሳካም ይሄ የህዝቡ ውሳኔ ነው። ማንኛው ሰዓት አሁን ሰዓትኛ ያለን ምንድነው ዘር ማጥፋት በአፋር ህዝብ ላይ የሚፈጽመው ጨፍጨፋና የአፋር ህዝብ ላይ የሚፈጽመው ያለሆነ ጦርነት ውስጥ የሚያስገባው አብይ ቡድን ተላላኪዎች ይሄን ነገር ተቆጥቦ ህዝቡን ወደ ጦርነት የትም ሰዓት በድንበር ላይ ያለው ችግር በትግራይና በአፋር የትም ሰዓት ተፈጥሮ አያውቅም። ቢፈጠርም በሀገር ሽማግሌ ሰው ይገደላል። ካሳ የተከፈለ በሁለቱ በኩል በአፋር የሞተ ሰው ካለ በትግራይ ሽማግሌዎች መጥቶ አፋር ላይ ስንት ማለት ካሳን ይቀበላለን ካሉ እስከ መግደል አምጥቶ የሚያስረክቡበት ሰዓት አለ። ይህ ህግ ያለበት አካባቢ ነው። በባህል የሚኖር ህዝብ ነው። ለዚህ ህዝብ ወደ ጦርነት የራሱን አህዳዊያን ስርዓቶች አሁን የሚያደርጉት ምንድነው? ኢትዮጵያ ላይ የነበረ ድሮ የነበረ ኢትዮጵያ አፋር ህዝብ እንደ አራት ሸዋ፣ ዋሎ፣ ትግራይ ምናምን ያሉ የሚከፋፍሉበት የነበረው ህዝብ ዳግም ወደዛ መልሶ የአፋርን መብት ለማርገጥ መብቱን ተረግጦ አፋር ህዝብ እንዲኖር ነው። ጦርነት ልመን እንጀምራለን ያሉ ነው እነ ኮሎኔል አስማማድ ሌሎቹም ከፍተኛ መንግስት አካላት የነበሩ ወደ ትግራይ ሰራዊትና ወደ ሀራ መሬት በዞን 4 ያለው አካባቢ ላይ የሚንቀሳቀሱት ለምንድን ነው? ለምን እንጀምራለን? ምን አስፈለገ ወደ ጦርነት? ጦርነት ትግራይኛ ላይ አልተወከሰንም፣ ትግራይ ላይ አልተወከሰንም፣ ህዝብ ላይ አይደለም። ይሄ ነው ጉዳዩ። ግን በብዛት እነሱ ያሰቡበት አላማ ደርሷልና በዚህ አላማ ለማሳካት እኛ ከትግራይ ህዝብና ከትግራይ ህዝብ ላይ የተፈጸመ በአለም ላይ ያልተፈጸመ ነገር አይደለም። ሀቅ ስላለ ነው ይሄን ነገር እስካሁን ድረስ ትግራይ ህዝብ ያለበት ቦታ የደረሰው በህዝብ ብዛት አይደለም ወይም በሌላ አይደለም። ግን የሀቅ ላይ የተመሰረተ ትግል ስለሚያደርጉት በሀቅ ላይ የተመሰረተ ጉዳይ ላይ ይሄን ቦታ ስላደረሱት እኛ ደግሞ እነሱን ጎን ሆነን በኤርትራ ያለው አፋር በኢትዮጵያ ያለው አፋር ያለው አንድ ችግር ነው። በኤርትራ ያለው በሲያስ የሚመራ ቡድን በአፋር ህዝብ ዘር ማጥፋት የአፋር ህዝብ ባለበት ሁኔታ እንዴት እንደነበሩ አሁን በስደት የሚኖሩ ሰው አፋር ህዝብ በኤርትራ ውስጥ በስደት ሄደው የሚኖሩ በአንድ ቤት ውስጥ 2-3 ሰራተኛ ቆጥሮ የሚኖሩ የነበረ ህዝብ ናቸው። ግን አሁን በስደት ተገላጦ ምረታቸው ጥሎ የሚኖሩ ህዝብ ናቸውና በዚህ ነው ያለው ችግርን ለመፍታት አብረን ለማስራት ሌሎች ኃይሎች ጋር አብረን ለማስራት ያስበን ይሄን ነው። አመሰግናለሁ። አብዙ
Thank you. Before we go to Brother Jonas, is Brother Haidra Idris Ethiopian Afar or Eritrean Afar? Ethiopian Afar. Okay, that shows unity. So we have Eritrean and Ethiopian Afar here, speaking in Amharic, Afarian, English. This is excellent. Many of the people are listening and watching. I can't read Arabic, but there's people reading in Arabic and speaking
Arabic, Tigrinya.
In Tigrina, right?
Okay.
Did you want to?
I think there is. I think Brother Noor is somewhere in the audience. He wants to speak in Tigrinya. If you can give it to him. He's in
Brother
Facebook.
Noor, I don't see on here.
So on Facebook.
Okay, I see him right now. I'm gonna add him. I just added Brother Noor. Go ahead, Brother Noor. After that, we go to Jonas, if you're there.
Salam, Captain.
Salam,
Captain
salam.
India.
Salam, Brother Noor. How are you? Go ahead.
سمعني لها.
If you guys are unmuted, hit mute.
قديم استحتتني لا تدقاقني أبزاناي لولا ونتن وكان عفر قداي كتمسن كلها عفر كل جزء تنسلتي وكان هاجر تجفهم وكان هاجر صور الفيديو بس ضربتها يزربيو مالك أنا بتحدى وكان دنكالة زي بالله كنت أقول لي كم تبايكا الشنتيو إيرترا عفر كان نحدنت إيرترا كبستقالسون نحدنت إيرترا كم بلين عينهم زتمتو كبتم بيرات حديو كويتات الفيليو هانا خالص خدولو ويزوه قولو مرتشاتكم كأيل لنكا سلزي تحدنت أب إيرتان لونت إيرتان مكلا خال نخالوت نخحقو سوي كان نخالوت نخحرقو زي كونو نمنتو رؤسهم يتي تقندنا قراتي ماتيو ስለዚህ ከም ፖለቲካዊ ናይ መግዛእታዊ ዶባት ተዓዚብካዮም ከዓ ኩሎም ዓፋር ኣብ ክልተ ኣሎ ትግርኛ ኣብ ክልተ ኣሎ ትግራይ ኣብ ክልተ ኣሎ ኩሉ መን በቢቢሆን ዝጠረፈ ነገራት የለን ግን ሰባት እቲ ናይ መግዛእታዊ ዶብ ተቐቢሎም ኣብቲ ዝነብሩሉ ሃገር ምስቲ ዘለዎ ህዝቢ ንኽነብሩ ከዓ ይግደዱ እዮም ግን እቲ መብዛሕትኡ ግዜ እቲ عفر كن سوريو يدليو عفر كاك قلفو يدليو ببزح الدقاقين كادما بوغن عفر زي كونه بخالقوت سبات
It's,
Continue. I think he got
okay.
kicked out. Continue, Brother Noor. Can you hear me? Okay, until he returns, Jonas, go ahead.
Okay, so I think I was trying to answer your earlier question under what umbrella, and that's an important question. And the main thing is this: from what I learned about reading on the history and then learning speaking to people that experienced the history, is there was never an agreement on how to govern. And so if a group of people want to become in solidarity, they have to come in agreement on how to govern because that will give them incentive on knowing where the future is going to be. And so that'll give them more incentive to work together in solidarity for anything. But if everyone is going for what they think to be the future, then I don't think Eritrea would even got its independence if they knew what they know now. So knowing how to have an agreement and understand on how to govern is step one. And then step two could be the military efforts or logistic efforts or any kind of efforts to get what you want in solidarity to get that independence. I'm sorry, that constitutional decentralized government. So the idea has to be, what are we going to be 6 months from now? What are we going to be 9 months from now? If we're in agreement on that, then we can work together and move forward, and that will create the unity everybody's looking for, the solidarity everybody's looking for. And then last thing is for Brother Ahmed, if you can answer this one. There's a question on about Resado. That was the organization that existed, RSADO, the acronym. And so if you can elaborate on that, and then if you want to add to what I just said right now. Oh, as far as the umbrella, Global Yaka Movement is an umbrella. Eritrean Political Forces, Bright Future, EANC. These are all political organizations that are being endorsed, and then there's more. And the reality is, as long as you're focused on the foundation of justice and recognizing each other's rights and the inclusivity, those key components is critical. Any organization that does not believe in inclusivity, there's enough evidence saying that's not sustainable and it's not going to work. There's enough evidence for that. So, because of the diversity, the governance and so forth needs to reflect the diversity, needs to reflect rights, and needs to reflect justice in order for you to have peace. It's a mathematical equation. It's not complicated. Now we have to go do it, is what I'm getting at. But go ahead, Brother Ahmed, if you can answer that recital question, and if you want to elaborate what I just said.
Good. Very good questions. Very, very, very interesting topics. I mean, this is what people talk about a lot, and this is what the concern of Eritreans need to be there. I think Brother Noor was explaining in Tigrinya, as we speak in English or Afar. Maybe there's misunderstanding amongst the our Eritrean brothers and sisters that the unity or what umbrella you fight for is very clear. We said it's a two different organization, one fighting for its right in Eritrea, one fighting its right for in Ethiopia. So the unification of the people, like they said, some people, the question was, is Eritrea's sovereignty or integrity is intact? It's not going to be changed by us. It will be the choice of people, like they were talking about. So as we speak, Eritrea is an independent country. Ethiopia is an independent country, and that should be the answer. The having to fight against oppression. This is not the first time people from Ethiopia and Eritrea unite, and there's many examples amongst the Afar, the Somalis, the Oromos, even TPLF and EPLF. I mean, the history is there. So all of this is to say that the struggle can achieve its goals without breaking the internationally recognized borders or the integrity of other country. So that's not a problem. Now, And the question of Arsado, you mentioned Arsado. Arsado is insignificant in terms of the Afar. They are represent Red Sea Afar Democratic Organization. They don't even call themselves Eritrean Afar because their name was given to them by the Amharas, Red Sea. Those Amharas who seek Red Sea that's where they got their name. The people of the Eritrea in Dankalia is known as Afar in Dankalia as Eritrean Afar. So Arsado is a fake puppet and insignificant group of people who are using bad name for the Eritrean Afar. We know them because we were with them. Right now, as we speak, they are fighting on the side of Abiy and Isaias. So that tells you how much they care about uh, 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 Eritrean causes. So, but in the name, they call themselves Eritreans. You see them all over the place. I see some comments coming from them because they are enemy of Eritrean Afar. Uh, uh, this has been proven, and we have had so much confrontation with them in the past. So to us, they are insignificant group that is there are opportunistic group that is always working against the Afar in Eritreans, in Eritrea, I mean.
Thank you, Brother Ahmed. Just like everywhere else in our opposition groups, we have what we call ankafti, right? Even though majority of us just want the solution, some of us want the solution fast, some of us are willing to work with anyone to get the job done. As you're working towards a better goal, you always have, Eritreans know this very well, different organizations, self-interest groups, any organization that supports dictatorship is not an organization. It's a terrorist group, period. That's what people have to be able to figure out and decipher for themselves. A, if you're for freedom, if you're for liberation, if you're for the freedom of the people, if you're for capturing and maintaining the historical ideologies, values, culture of a people, you're on the right side. If you're for genocide, if you're for destruction, if you're for selling things that are not yours, if you're for selling ports that don't belong to you by empowering individuals that are dictators, this is terrorism. You can't do things by force. So it's either you're on the right side of history or you're wrong side of history. The good thing about what we got going on here is everyone believes in freedom. Everyone believes to maintain what's yours, your land, your Bahari, your people. But sometimes if people have to work together to achieve these goals, then it's a necessity. But all too often, I don't speak Amharic and I don't speak Arabic well, but I can get the gist of what certain words say, and there's certain individuals writing, and I can see where they're from. But to me, and not to get into religious content or whatever, but to me, whether you're Muslim or Christian or Afarian or Amhat or whatever, it's irrelevant. As long as people fight for freedom and quit trying to hijack people's ideas and create wrenches. Because I see some saying you don't represent all Afarian groups. Well, you're right. He represents Eritrean Afarian. I'm talking for Brother Ahmed. But we have Ethiopian Afarian here. So obviously we have everyone here to represent their people. Tigrina speakers and everything else, right? That's called a powerful movement, regardless of individuals trying to betray the system. We will remove all these people, no matter what happens. You want to highlight on that? Because I didn't know you guys had oppositions within the oppositions and Ankafti. I just learned that right now. So the Rosado are, what is the population of is it Rosado or Rosado? What is the population of the Rosados? Brother Ahmed.
Well, no one knows the numbers, but they're too loud. If you ask me, the number doesn't matter. They're too loud, and the objectives, as on the ground, have been out of Eritrean mainstream, and they have been used and overused by many groups So this is my point. Unless you are clear in your objectives, you know what you want, because they are all over the place. They are in the fight somewhere here. They are in there. They're in there. There is like mercenaries. So that's the kind of people that you want to be avoiding at any cost. This is why we are against them. We don't like how they operate. We don't like how they talk. It is a bad name for the Afar self-determination rights amongst the Eritreans and internationally. So I want to make clear that we are objecting their whatever they're doing.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, this is the same Higdef mentality that took us in circles for years and years and years. Same Shabianism, same Higdef mentality. You do good work, somebody comes along to stop you. You want freedom, somebody disagrees with your freedom. Freedom is a God-given right. It's not something you ask for. It's yours.
And we have, by the way, on this Arsado group, there were report that when Abiy and Isaias made deal, thinking that they were quick to jump on the deal and to make agreement. So they went to through back door, through negotiation, to make deal with Isaias to go back. So how can you make a deal with Isaias when you represent significant population for the rights of self-determination? I mean, they will do anything. That's why I call them mercenaries. They will do anything to get their foot to get some position or financial gains. So this is why the Eritreans should be aware of Arsado and should be avoid them at any cost.
Absolutely. Sounds like a Higdef blueprint playbook. And I'm very well versed on Higdef. So, Brother Noor, if you're still around, did you want to finish in Tigrina? Give him a second to unmute. Maybe I'll unmute him. Okay, Brother Noor, you there? You're unmuted. Go ahead and unmute yourself, Noor. I see him, but I don't hear him. He's not unmuting. Okay, we'll go to Brother Shaheen. I'm versed on the recitals, but despite that, I still don't have an answer what your position is on the people of Eritrea that do not want to work with TDF. When I say the people of Eritrea, I understand the Afars are going to unite and do what they got to do for liberation. I get it. But do you require Hizbi Eritrea support? Obviously, the majority of Hizbi Eritrea, right? Some don't want to work with TDF. Some are willing to work with TDF. How do you answer that? That's the magic trick for everyone, to include our movement over here, everyone in Eritrea. That is the magic trick. Some want to work with TDF by any means necessary, remove its size. Some are like, no, we could do it ourselves. Do you think we could do it ourselves, Brother Shaheen? You're mute. Hold on one second. Let me unmute you.
Here you go.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll start by saying there's no permanent enemy in politics, and there's no permanent friend. And we actually at Russian Afar organization, we're willing to work with everybody, and as long as it helps our people, and as long as it helps our people and then brings our cause forward, we can work with everybody. But just like you said, if you are for genocide, and if you are for if you're not for freedom, like you say, we can't work with you, because that's what we try to get rid of, and we cannot do that, and then we cannot keep replacing dictators with the dictators and go through generations through this kind of stuff. It's actually shameful to do that, and we got to bring people together. We need governments that bring people together and work with people and help people and take. I mean, we need government that's concerned about the people and the freedom. If you are like, I mean, I was when Tigray war happened, I was one of the first ones who were against it. And I was against genocide. I don't care. It happens in Tigray or it happens anywhere in the world. It's wrong to kill innocent people. It's wrong not to solve problems with. Think about it. You only solve problems with a gunpoint, and we've been through that for years and years and years. It brought nothing but destruction, and war destroys everything you built through the centuries within a week or within a month. And we gotta remember that, you know. And we want to leave a good world for the next generation, that's free of oppression, free of war, free of such things like that, and bring freedom is our purpose. And we are willing to work with anybody. I'm not very clear on the intention of TDF on Afar regions, and maybe they can explain it to me better. And I'm sure a lot of Afars are confused about that too. And I hear that in the Afar media and everything, and all the propaganda and everything that's going on. And they came to take your land. They were here to do this, and they did this before. I'm very sure that something happened, and it happened in Oromos. It happened because the federal system in Ethiopia did not go as it should in the past, and people have the reservations about that. And as for Arsado, which is, I mean, they're still our brothers. I mean, that's all I can say. Maybe they're confused, and we all need to come together and work together to get rid of dictatorship. And if they're for democracy, and I think they're welcome to work with us and work with anybody. And if they are for a dictatorship and stuff, and then we're not going to have any of that, because we want to bring freedom. And if they're going to divide our people and criticize whoever doing the work, like Brother Ahmad, and look at him as the enemy, I don't think that's the right way to go. And we all need to work together, and because we may have different ideas, but we have to respect each other's ideas, and then go forward. If you don't agree on something, that's fine. We can move on something that we agree on. And it goes with the other written organizations too that we're going to work with. And we're not going to agree on everything 100%. And we got to remember that, because we all have different ideas, and we all have different ideas on how to bring about change in Eritrea. And we could, yeah.
Sorry, no, Shaheem, I was mentioning Noor is available, I think. He can speak in Tigrinya. We don't want to bore anyone in English, so there are big component of this conference who are listening live that want to hear in Tigrinya as well, so we gotta make it.
Oh yeah, I speak Tigrinya too, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, see if his Noor is available.
Yeah, I don't see Brother Noor for some reason. I tried to have him speak earlier, I couldn't. But Tigrinya khazara bkhale ti oma yahwatna ta Afar press conference ma low kagolts ulkum it's a situation of adizalo to work between Abiy Ahmed involvement aside Saforki بتيريا بإريتريان ديفنس فورس خونزلو تقاسي تيما فارين حواتنا يبلو بحسب حبيرون بحسب نحت سريحهم كوتسون سايز فورك إن أبي أحمد شجر يلن جينتي رسادو زبال organization كايزاربولو نيرم. I personally, my personal opinion, I'm with Brother Ahmed, and if we're working on something, you remove them, because what's happening is that the process slow. You go, bro. If we're moving for liberation of Eritrea and Afar region and Ethiopia and all that, I'm not going to allow anybody to slow me down, because all they're going to do is cause another 20, 30 years of delay in the movement. So on it, Ba'ale aggressively get a remove you over them. That's just my ideology. But as far as this topic here, the Afar press conference, قرم فليلي نيرهم تيوم أفار ريجن because بتكأيح بحري سلازلالي تيوم إثيوبين منجستي بأطرحهم سسيعهم سرحو زلو زخلو سرح جيني تيوم يحواتنا يبلو لو بحنساب نحت حقاقيزنا كنسرح نخل دفن كقورة نخل نعدنا مش كله differences aside قريف كابد حريت بحنساب كنسرح نخل يبلو لو أنا خازي دقفو أي جيني تي اتشجر زحت زلخوس ብዙሕ ኤርትራዊ ነቲ TDF ዝቅበሎ የለን ብዙሕ ኤርትራዊ TPLF ዝድግፎ የሎ even though TPLF umbrella የለን ብሕጂ TDF ዝኻየድ ዘሎ ወላ እቲኦም መንግስቲ ናይ ኤርትራ እዩ ዘይፈልጥዎ እዮም ግን ብሓንሳብ ካይን ዝሰርሕ ከዓኒ መንደቅ ይሰርሑ ኣለዉ ምሽ ምቕታል ምሕዳድ ኩሉ ትርእይዎ ኣለኹም ግን እቲ ሕቶት ናተይ ከመይ ገይሮም እዮም ህዝቢ ኤርትራ ዝቅበሎ ንTDF ኣለዉ ብዙሕ ኣነ TDF ዝቅበሎ ትግራይ ዝበሃል ኣይቅበላን ዝብሉ ኣለዉ ብዙሕ ኣለኹም ዝብሉ ግን እቲ ናፅነትካ ይደልዩ እቲ ናፅነት ንሕትደሊ TDF ኣይትድግፎን እያ ኦኬ ከመይ ጌርካ ኢኻ ንኢሳያስ ተውርዶ ባዕልኻ ኢሳያስ ካብ ትግራይ ኣትሎ ኣብይ ከዓ ንኢሳያስ ይድግፎ እንድሕር ኢትዮጵያ ኣብይ ኣሕመድ ንኢሳያስ ይድግፎ ኮይኑ እሞ ከመይ ጌርካ ኢኻ ንኢሳያስ ትውርዶ ብክልተ ኣርሚ ኢኻ ትቃለስ ዘለኻ unless ብሓንሳብ opposition ተሓዋዊሱ ተሓጋጊዙ ከመይ ጌርካ ኣተውፅኦ Eritreans 27-30 years ክነውርዶ ትብሉ ኣለኹም ግን ኣይወረደን what's the next step Afar is saying we're going to unite and do our thing ይብሉ ኣለዉ why is that a problem for anyone I don't see it unless you are behind the scenes working to support dictators I can't see how the Afar region uniting causes a problem for anyone brother Muhammad Ibrahim if you want to highlight on this
መኪና እየነዳሁ ነው እንግዲህ ሆነ ሌላ ኮንፈረንስ እየሄድኩ ነው Ahmed
can you hear him
no he's saying he's
driving
he cannot speak he's driving
I can speak but better if you add on that
brother Ahmed okay yeah brother Ahmed highlight on this I just want to give everybody a chance
go ahead
brother Ahmed
I didn't quite get the question I thought it was more generally the comments it was and if you could refresh me quickly give me the gist of your question
no worries so what I said was the Rosado or whatever Rosado I explained to them if they're going to be blocking you guys from liberation no matter who it is they should be removed out of your way we can call them brothers all day there's Eritrean Higdef brothers Yamane Monkey is my brother in theory right Besides Porky is my brother in theory right he's my brother but what is my brother doing you see that's the problem
exactly.
If I don't remove my brother from doing what he's doing my brother will have me oppressed for another 30 years to serve his own purpose that's a statement the thing was though there's a lot of Eritreans in Rosado that are willing to work with Abiy Ahmed was part of an organization that was under the TPLF regime as well everything's so mixed intertwined
it means
is there a clear definitive the question for you is there a clear definitive we are Eritrean Afar we are Ethiopian Afar we are meeting here both our congressional committees are meeting here and is this the voice of the majority is the question
it not only that it's the voice of the Afar self-determination it could be us today it could be somebody else tomorrow whoever is clearly stating that the grievances of their people in respective country from the Afar in Eritrea and the Afar in Ethiopia are doing the just cause for coming closer to aspirations of Afar people, which is to have their self-determinations and have their rights respected. So this is what we mean, and we are not saying we are the only fighting force for the Afar rights, but we are saying we need to take the leading role as people in the region are either confused or either their objective is not clear. That's the example of Arsado, for example. When you work with Abiy today, that means you work with SIS. There's no difference. I mean, you have to make a clear distinction. We are against SIS because Abiy is trying to impose on Ethiopians and Abiy. I mean, we are against Abiy because he has made this relationship that gave our dictatorship a new life and lease. And we as Afar, Eritrean Afar National Congress, we see a threat coming from Ethiopia by forging this relationship with Eritrean dictatorship. This is not just politically, but socially and economically. Look at our refugees right now. Refugees what happened to refugees, Eritrean refugees in Tigray is catastrophic. And that's going to happen in the refugees in the Afar state, because as long as the spies from these security agents from Eritrea is roaming inside Afar territory and inside Ethiopia. This never happened before. The more the relationship between these two tyrannical systems continues, the more the lives of our people will be in danger. It goes without saying that our democratic future in Eritrea is going to be in danger. That's why we oppose it. So if people like Arsado don't see this clearly, then that shows their political maturity, and this is why Eritreans are suspicious of them, and that's why we as ENC see them are not doing a job and basically destroying the work we do, coming closer to other Eritreans, coming closer to international community, coming closer to people like TDF and Eritreans, whoever is willing to change these regimes that are oppressive. That's my point. Hopefully that's a little bit clear, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. You covered that greatly and respectfully. One thing I don't like to do is speak of other organizations if I haven't studied them. So the Rosado are something new to me. So I will open up some books, read up on them. I will engage all of you. In fact, I'm gonna contact them and ask them their ideologies, because you know what I mean. Just to be fair, I will learn about them, because there's someone here who wrote.
Invite them here. We may have a discussion, two of us.
Nice.
Yes,
That would be, yeah,
I like
we're
it.
open
That's
to
how
that.
it should be.
There you go.
Transparency.
Invite
Higdef,
Higdef if you can,
yeah,
too.
yeah. I will invite Brother Ahmed and one of your allies, and I will, because there's a Red Sea Afari, and he's saying, Capta Eritrea, do you know who is Rosado? Rosado never support the Eritrea government, that and the cannot support to Abiy Ahmed. Also, we are fighting for our rights like Eritrea. I get it. Yusuf Daoud, he says, thanks, Brother Ahmed. You make a question clear. Thank you, Brother Yusuf. Now, I know we're going on 2 hours. What I wanted to do was, I love my Afarian brothers. When you guys come on, everybody's like excited. You know, everybody's wanting to know what's going on. I love this. So I was talking to Brother Jonas behind the scenes. We're going to do another live with you guys. Actually, you guys have my platform. Anytime you want, you already know that. You could jump in, Team Freedom, open it up. You don't need me there. What I would like to do is, I feel like we don't push the Afarian information hard enough, because truth be told, I knew of Eritrean Afar, right? I knew there was Ethiopian Afar, but I never knew anything about the Afar. I always thought the Red Sea,
Afar.
Djibouti and Afar. I always thought the Red Sea belonged to me as an Eritrean. It was my right to have the Red Sea. Nobody else is going to get in my way. I didn't know there was a sovereign, or should be a sovereign nation, defending the you know, our sea. And in order for our sea to be given to someone, Abiy Ahmed would have to remove you, and Isaias Forke would have to remove you, because you're not going to sit there and let your land just go. And I know you guys are under attack. And I also learned this in Clubhouse, because they came there like, hey, Captain, you talk about everything else, but you never talk about Afar. I was like, well, how about you educate me? If you educate me, I can speak about it, because I'm a voice for the voiceless, for everyone, right? And now I'm educated, and I'm really interested in this. So what I would like to do is bring you guys, our brothers, back to discuss this. And if the Red Sea Afar, or I don't know his name, if you want to come and debate, message me on Messenger. I welcome you, my brother. But I will let you know, I personally stand against Isaias Forke, against Abiy Ahmed. Yeah, I stand against the government of Eritrea, the government of Ethiopia. I am for the people. I don't care if you're Muslim, Christian. I don't care what you are. If you're my brother, I am for the people. As long as you understand that when you come to my show, because I don't ask easy questions. So make sure you bring your strength with you and don't break, because I'm gonna ask the hard questions. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I'll give each person a moment to say what they got to say before we roll. First and foremost, we'll go with our brother Shaheen, you can say goodbye, good luck to the people, and we'll be back. Go ahead, sir.
Today and helping, providing us a platform to discuss the Afar issue. And so, the last thing I want to say is let's all fight for freedom, peace, and let's pray for peace for our people, because they like the whole country is the whole area is in flames right now, and may Allah, God, bring peace to all of us and save lives is all I'm going to say. And thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Brother Shaheen. I want Brother Ahmed to have the last word, but I need you to think of something powerful so people can be engaged in this Afarian movement. I need all my Eritreans, whether you're Higdef, whatever you are, I don't care. Our Afarian brothers and sisters are taking a lot of hits. It's time to highlight this. So I will let Brother Jonas go, and then Brother Ahmed. Go ahead, Brother Jonas.
Okay. This is the big thing that's going on right now. And the last piece everybody wants is peace. That's the last domino, I guess you could say, is peace. And the first domino to get there is going to be respect. And after respect comes recognition, and then you actually create an opportunity for truth and reconciliation. And then with that comes justice and accountability. All these moving parts, all these pieces, that's what's going to get you to peace. You can't just skip over all that and expect peace. And so the biggest thing, the message I want to lay out is, if you know how you're going to be governed in the future, and if you're in agreement on governance in the future, then that will give you the motivation needed to create a solidarity to stand up for justice now. And so that's the biggest thing. So, and then it's bigger than dictatorship. It's bigger than oppression. It ultimately comes down to injustice. You got to stand up for it, because we see the evidence. It's spread. It's spread it all the way to Afar, from Tigray, from Eritrea. It's spread. The injustice is spread. And so what we have to do is be wise, be courageous, and move forward. And so that's the message I just want to lay out. And then we have to keep doing these diverse conversations. That way the population can be more educated, and then that courage can be built up through education.
Thank you. Thank you, Brother Jonas. That was deep. I like that. I do see Brother Haidira Idris. If you want to give a last statement, go ahead, Brother Haidira Idris.
هذا اللي حبوا عنقرات لكن ده حيانا.
ኦኬ አባበ አመሰግናለሁ። መጀመሪያ
عفر فتين تدوداش حيدرا كاد.
لا تعبي ملي አይ አመሰግናለሁ። መጀመሪያ በአፈረኛም ማናገር እችላለሁ፣ በትግረኛም ያው እንዳለን
ትግረኛ ያብታም ትወደክ ትግረኛ እንደህካድ
معه ኦኬ መጀመሪያ ይغني ያለይ እዚ ኩሉ ዝግዛይ ከና ከማን በዚ ጉዳይ ክንዛረብ ንማይጠሉ ከማን ኣብዚ ምቅረብካ ብጣዕሚ ዝመስግን እቲ ሽግር ከም ዝበና ህዝቢ ዓፋር ኣብ ልዕሊ ህዝቢ ዓፋር ዘሎ ፀገም ኣብ ኤርትራ ዝኸውን ወይም ኣብ ኢትዮጵያ ዝኸውን ዘሎ ፀገም እዩ። ንዓና ከዓ ኣብ ሓድነት ወይም ፀገምና ሓደ ስለ ዝኾነ እቲ ፀገምና ከዓ ንምፍትሒ ክንረክብ ከም ፅጉማት ህዝቢ ከዓ ትግራይ ህዝቢ ከዓ ከምዚ ንሕና ፀገምና ከዓ ኣብ ፅልዒ ፀገም ዘሎ ህዝቢ ስለ ዝኾነ ብሓንሳብ ሓብርና ክንሰርሕ ካልኦት ከዓ ዝመሓላለፈ መልእኽቲ እንታይ እዩ? ሕጂ ዘሎ ፌደራሊዝም ንምጥፋእ ብኢትዮጵያ ዝካየድ ዘሎ ብሄር ብሄረሰባት ንምጭቆን ዘካየድ ዘሎ ስርዓት ኣብይ ኣሕመድን ተላለክቲ ናቱን ኣብ ክልላት ዝወድቦም ዘሎም ብፍላይ ንህዝቢ ዓፋር ዝወክል ኣይኮነን። ህዝቢ ዓፋር ምስ ህዝቢ ትግራይ ኣብ ዝኾነ ቦታ ተዋጊኡ ወይም ህዝቢ ክቐትልን ወይም ኣብ ቀትል ድሌት ዘይብሉ ህዝቢ እዩ። እዚ ከዓ ምስ መሻርክቱ ምስ ህግደፍ ወይም ሻዕብያ ኮይኑ ዝገብር ዘሎ ሻዕብያ ከዓ ህዝቢ ዓፋር ኣብ ልዕሊ ህዝቢ ዓፋር ኣብ ኤርትራ እንታይ ዓይነት ፀገም ካብ ዝፈፀመ ኩለና ንፈልጣ ኢና። እንታይ ዓይነት ፀገም ከም ዘሎ ኣብ ኢትዮጵያ ከዓ ተመሳሳሊ ፀገም ክፈጥርን ወይም ከምኡ ዓይነት ነገር ቦታ ንምሓዝ ዝካየድ ዘሎ ፀገማት እዚ ከዓ ተጠው ክብል ህዝቢ ዓፋር ከዓ ኣብ ዘሎ ቦታ ኮይኑ ብንሕና ዝኾነ ይኸውን ኣብ ኤርትራ ይኸውን ኣብ ኢትዮጵያ ይኹን ኣብ ጅቡቲ ይኹን ኣሕዋትነት ኣይንፈልጥን፣ ግን ዶብ ኣለዎም ኤርትራውያን ኣብ ኤርትራ ብኤርትራውነት እዮም መጀመርያ ብፃይኑር ከም ዝበለ ብኤርትራውነት እዮም ዝወርዑ ኣብ ኢትዮጵያ ዘሎ ካብ ኢትዮጵያውነት እዚ ዝደራደር ነገር ኣይኮነን። ግን እቲ ፀረ ህዝቢ ኣብ ኢትዮጵያ ዝካየድ ዘሎ ዘር ማጥፋት ኣብ ልዕሊ ህዝቢ ዓፋር ዝካየድ ዘሎ ጨፍጨፋ ምክንያት ጁንታ ወይ ህወሓት ዝተኣሰሩ ሰባት ኣለዉ ልዕሊ 60 ገለ ዝኽውኑ ናይ ቀደም ሓለፍትን ኣብ ዝተፈላለዩ ትካላት ዝነበሩ ኣብ እስር ዘለዎም ኣብ ቆም እስር ዘለዎም ብተፈላለዩ መንገድታት ኣሎ እዚ ኻ ጠጠው ኢሉ ከዓ ህዝቢ ሰላም ሰላም እንተሎ ከዓ ሰላም ኩሉ ንዓናን ንኩሉ ሰብ ሰላም ከም ሰላም ዝለዓለ ነገር የለን ብሰላም ሓብርና ክንነብር ከም ድሌት ከም ዝኾነ ህዝቢ ኣብ ኤርትራ ዘለዎም ዓፋር ኣብ ኤርትራ ብሰላም ክነብሩ ድሌት ኣለዎም ኢትዮጵያ ዘለዎም ካብ ኢትዮጵያ ብሰላም ክነብሩ ድሌት ኣለዎም ጅቡቲ ካለው ብሰላም ምስ ዝኾነ ሰብ ፀገም የብልና ንሕና ኣብ ዝኾነ ቦታ ኣብ ዝኾነ ይኸውን ሰብ ንምንታይ ኣብ ዝብል ሕቶ የብልና ሰላም ግን እንተሲኑ ግን እቲ ሓባር ንሕና ይሰርሐና ኣብዚ ዘቕርበና ጉዳይ እቲ ብሓባር ፀገምና ሓደ ስለ ዝኾነ ፀገምና ንምፍታሕ ብሓባር ኮይንና ክንፈትሕ ኢኻ ድሌት ኣለውና ቴንክ ዩ እዚ ናተይ ነይሩ አመሰግናለሁ
Wow, thank you, brother
صبغي
Hedera.
بتعمي.
I didn't know you speak Tigrina Khamnates bullets. Wow, I didn't know. Amazing.
That's great.
Without further ado, brother Ahmed, go ahead.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm going to make a quick, and my conclusion remark is I'll divide it into 3 parts. My number 1 is to my Afar brothers and sisters in Eritrea. We need to come together in this such a difficult time in our history. 30 years is gone without. You've just heard it from Captain and Jonas that even our Eritrean brothers and sisters do not fully understand what the Afar people went through. So we want to unite and never be ashamed or have any fear for standing up for your rights. If you're in Ethiopia, in Djibouti, in neighboring countries, in Yemen, wherever you are in the diaspora, unless you come forward with your cause, we agree with you. The suffering of Afar people, which I'm going to come to in one of my points, we understand the suffering of Afar people, whether in Djibouti or in Ethiopia. It is very important that we stand with them in this difficult time as well. But don't forget yours is much worse. Yours is your atrocity is much worse than in Djibouti and Ethiopia. You've been neglected for 30 years. Unless you stand up for your rights, unless you speak the truth, unless you fight and die for your cause, nobody will come to aid you. So this is my message to my people in inside Eritrea and outside Eritrea. The second message that I have is to TDF. The leadership of Tigray need to understand thousands of years of history, culture, cross-border trade, intermarriages, blood, and other relations. So you need to take into consideration very sensitively engage with the Afar leaders. Those who consider you your friends are more in number than those who consider you enemies. So you need to do your work. I am very much surprised this conflict between the Afar and Tigrayans have reached this far because I think you have not done your homework on the ground. If that was the case, there would not have been bloodshed between both of your people, Afar people and other people. So have more than I've heard your leaders, Getachew Reda and Debretsion and others who said we are not there to take the land and territory from the Afar people. But that's not enough. You need to do more in order to avoid this conflict to go further between the Afar people and Tigrayan people. Because listen, Abiy, you have fought for your rights over 50 years. So did the Afar people. The situation in Eritrea, the dictatorship in Eritrea and Ethiopia will be gone very soon. But you need to maintain your very good relationship with the Afar people. I'm talking about Afar people in Ethiopia. So that's my message to people of Tigray and the leadership in Tigray. So my third final message is to the international community. International community, first and foremost, to look into the Afar refugee situation. I'm talking about over 100,000 Afar Eritreans who are currently ignored. Prior to this war, they have been ignored. Now the war is happening in their midst, and with Eritrean influx, like you've seen, the U.S. and European Union are condemning, or they are talking about the influx of new Eritrean invasion into Ethiopia. This will endanger our lives, the lives of our people, 100,000 people. The other component of my last point is to the people of the Afar people who are currently suffering because of this war, the war that did not have anything to do with. They are suffering. There has been over 100,000 people displaced, I've heard. So the international community, just like they have to help the people of Tigray that are affected and should get their access to humanitarian access immediately. So these Afar people inside the Afar territory also need to get this assistance from the international community. And thank you so much, brothers from Captain Dawit and Brother Jonas and all the supporters that have always are ready to help the Afar causes. I'll thank you on behalf of my organization and on behalf of the Afar people everywhere. And I'm very much pleased to have this discussion and discuss these critical issues. And I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Ahmed. That was pretty deep. Yeah, we support you guys. You guys are brothers. You already know that. I'm just starting to see the liberation movement, the movements against ARDUF and Isaias Sarat is starting to all unite. It's all starting to come together one way or another, whether it takes another 10 years or whatever. And I also have a feeling our Muslim and Christian brothers are also starting to unite. I think we're all forced to reckon with one enemy. And I'm loving it. I'm loving this. I'm happy that we're all working together. And in the end, we're doing this for our future generations and our children. With that said, I will play some great Afarian music that you sent me on our way out the door, so we can enjoy and have some fun.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Happy to be here anytime, brothers.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Ahmed. Thank you, Shishan. And thank you, Noor.
Sounds like warrior music. I like it. My Afarian brothers and sisters,
thank
we
you
love
so much,
you.
brother.
Thank you.
Love you too.
Eritrea, Team Afar, Eritrea, Ethiopia, Afar, in unison. Press conference is over. Mission completed. We're planning to see you guys back again.
Are we still on?
Ciao.
Thanks, man.
See you later, sir. Thank you.
Ciao. I'll talk to you next time, brother.
Yes, sir. Okay, brothers and sisters, thank you. That was a great show. Appreciate you. We will see you again. We will host another Afarian ordeal. This was the press conference. Abel Masgun. Captain Eritrea is not naive, my brother. I want you to understand something. Captain Eritrea is not afraid to go anywhere. I'm not afraid to go to agendas. I'm not afraid to go to Eritrean parties. I'm not afraid to do anything to support all my people. That's what you have to understand. I don't let dictators rule my life. I don't let dictators tell me where to go, where not to go. Dawit does what Dawit wants to do because Dawit earned that. That's what you have to understand. I'm free. Are you free, Howie? Abed? Are you free? Dawit is free. I'm liberated here. That's the difference. I'm a child of God. Anyways, with that being said, I'm very, very happy to support all my Afarians I feel like their voice needs to be heard. We got to continue to work hard to let all the people that are oppressed be heard. With that said, thank you, Team Freedom, in unison with Afar Nation, Captain Eritrea.